Welcome to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Networks. I'm Brian Stanley, joining you for tonight's matchup. South Central Section Division III broadcast of your Mission Prep Royals, the #1 seed, versus the Robert F. Kennedy Thunderbirds out of Delano, the #4 seed. The Royals are coming in hot. Our technical director, Marcy Dolan, already on scene on the chat before we even went live. We do appreciate her every week checking in on us, making sure we are good to go, and following up to make sure everything is done on the public side of our broadcast, so we are on the air live, fresh, and direct. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by California Fresh Market, driven by Hyundai of San Luis Obispo, and this is the Mercedes-Benz pregame show. And if you're looking for a great Mercedes-Benz, check out Mercedes-Benz of San Luis Obispo, serving slow since 2012. If there's something you want from the Mercedes-Benz lineup, they are the dealership that will find it for you. Check them out, Mercedes-Benz of San Luis Obispo, and let them know that Slowpoke Sports and Prep Sports Networks sent you. And joining me tonight, I want to throw you in now, Stephen Hodges. I'm so excited, Stephen. Let's get going.
I'm excited to be here, Brian. This is going to be a great game. It's between Delano High School, Robert F. Kennedy, the third and most recent high school in that community. Of course, probably most famous historically to the Cesar Chavez, which has his namesake on another high school in the area. Here, Kennedy, the Thunderbirds, fantastic football program. One that's been there, done that. They're Division V champions back in 2015. They've taken blood on the Central Coast before in Santa Maria and Templeton in the 2019 playoffs. This is a team that is going to test Mission Prep to the limits. This is a team that stretches the field vertically, moves the ball very well on the ground. It's going to push every aspect of the Royals that has been tested throughout this season to the absolute highest all at once. This is the time of year where the mistakes are baked in. It's too late to try and scrub that out. You've got to rely on what you've done best all year, rely on the strength training, rely on one another, rely on all those trusts that you built. So it's going to be a big game for the Royals tonight, as it looks like they will be starting with the ball to start this game.
And I just want to come up with a couple interesting facts about the Kennedy High School out of Delano. To give you an idea where Kennedy High School is in Delano, you go through Delano on the 99 north of Bakersfield. It is the next city, the farthest city north in Kern County on the 99. And we'll be right back.
We pray in the name of the Father.
Mercedes-Benz San Luis Obispo, with over 25 years of experience and 5 years serving the SLO area. Mercedes-Benz of San Luis Obispo wants to help you get behind the wheel of your next vehicle. So next time you're in the market for a luxury car, keep it local with Mercedes-Benz San Luis Obispo.
Get a head start on your New Year's goals with Kennedy Club Fitness. Locations all over San Luis Obispo County. You've got classes, sauna, steam room, tub, and a heated pool. It's where I work out. It's Kennedy Club Fitness.
California Fresh Market is more than just your local grocery store. A full-service deli featuring premium boar's head meats and cheeses, handmade take-and-bake pizza, fresh salad and olive bar, gourmet cheese department perfect for any occasion, sushi rolled daily, organic and locally sourced produce, wild-caught seafood, choice Prime and Snake River Farms American Wagyu beef, artisan sourdough bread, and full-service health and wellness. California Fresh Markets, the best on the Central Coast.
Hyundai San Luis Obispo is proud to support Mission Prep Football this fall at 1407 Auto Park Way in San Luis Obispo. Come check out our Hyundai Getaway Sales event. With new inventory arriving daily, you won't want to miss out on what's going on at Hyundai San Luis Obispo. And if you don't feel like coming in, we make it easy with the option to shop from home. For more information, visit HyundaiSlow.com. Mission Prep Football is driven by Hyundai San Luis Obispo.
If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer.
will never leave you either, especially not in summer. Hi, this is John Villa, and that's my son Tom singing. The average age of the car on the road today is at least 12 years old. The older the car, the more TLC it requires, especially during summer. So now's the time to come in for a free battery and alternator check at Via Automotive. The summer heat can be brutal on your car's electrical system, so let us make sure everything is working right. If you do need service, remember that our technicians are iCar and ASC certified, which means they know your car from bumper to bumper. At Via Automotive, we'll never leave you, whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall, and that's a promise. Look us up online at via-automotive.com or call 781-3925. Via Autobody and Automotive. Let our family take care of your family. Nicely done, son.
Welcome back to Prep Sports Network's presentation of Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network, the CIF Central Section Division III semifinal. My partner tonight is Stephen Hodges. I am Brian Stanley, and we are currently chasing down a technical issue, so bear with us as our signal will improve. But tonight's matchup, as I was saying, real quick, Kennedy High School on the west side of the 99 as you go through Delano. Delano is the furthest north city in Kern County on the 99. And we're ready for kickoff. These Thunderbirds coming tonight 9-2, playing a 9-game regular season, 2 games in the postseason. And the kick is off and is going to be returned by J.J. Howard. Got some room across the 45. The 50 now cross into Thunderbird territory. A good return for the senior, committed to play basketball at Rio Grande Valley.
J.J. Howard's going to have a big night tonight. He's going to be challenged by another big target across the way in the form of Gamez Helm, who's going to be a big wide receiver for the Thunderbirds. Robert F. Kennedy, of course, you said coming in here from Delano, they had a lot of Bakersfield teams on their schedule, and they passed through one of the tougher teams on the bracket in Kerman, someone that I think is underseeded. We reported misheard several different sources saying that Kerman was going to win that game, but instead it's Kennedy here tonight.
We'll take on all comers here at Mission Prep as Colby White steps under center. Looks to throw this one. Deep corner pass, left side. Howard drops it in the breadbasket. That's got to hurt on your first pass of the game.
Kennedy runs a very interesting defense. You might have watched that first play and said, why was the D-line standing straight up and down? They're doing what's called a prowl. They're making it harder to track where the players are in front of them. The linebackers stand directly behind the defensive line. Defensive line and linebackers all move around to make it very hard to keep track of the assignments. The O-line there did a fantastic job giving a good pocket for Colby White to throw a ball despite heavy blitz pressure. Expect a lot of plays just like that from the Thunderbirds tonight. Lots of blitzing, lots of chaos up front.
2nd and 10 for the Royals. Turns hands off to his back. And Cole Tanner delivers a big hit to gain 6 yards for the Royals. Sets up a nice 3rd down as Colby White steps to the sideline to meet with the offensive coordinator and head coach David Schuster.
Yeah, unfortunately, a hurt Thunderbird there on that play. Interesting to see Cole Tanner starting out with the ball. We've seen him have quite a big impact early on. He averages 8.4 yards per carry, has nearly half 1,000 yards, despite not playing most of the season. I had to sit out those 6 games due to the transfer rules, so expect him to be one of those X factors tonight that Kennedy may or may not be prepared for. Kennedy, on the other hand, has a few of those their own. They've got a freshman running back that had 120 yards in his first game against who did they play in the first round? The team that they played in the first round, coming in as a freshman, making a big play happen.
Yeah, they played they played the Highland Scots.
Yeah, that's right. Highland from Bakersfield, the Scots. Yeah.
And that stood out to me, and I should have realized that as soon as you said that. I should have been quick to the tongue because they played the Scots twice this season, as the Royals played the Eagles twice this season. They played the Scots in non-league action in a 25-21 loss.
Yeah, it's always tough to play a team twice. Of course, Mission coming off that win against Arroyo Grande, second game where they beat Arroyo Grande. They didn't just beat Arroyo Grande, but beat them at home, as we're seeing the injured Thunderbird there. Sebastian Duran, one of their top tacklers, has 63 tackles on the year. Unfortunate to see him go out this early with an injury. Unfortunate to see him leave with an injury at all.
This first quarter brought to you by Via Automotive, been around the Central Coast for over 70 years, helping your family get by automotively. So check them out, viaautomotive.com. White under center, 3-step drop. Trying to avoid the sack, still on his feet. That ball comes loose. They're going to say that's a shovel pass, and it's collected by the Thunderbirds. Sergio Gonzalez collects it, thinking he had the fumble recovery, ready to go the other way.
Yeah, there's a pass intended for Mario Loera, the tight end up at the line of scrimmage, was involved in blocking. But if you're upset about that, saying that was intentional grounding, I would agree with you. I think intentional grounding is one of those rules that needs to be reevaluated for the modern era of football. As the Royals lightening up their play scheme, looks like Luke Terry's going to be entering in, Mario Loera coming out.
And you hear the fans on the home side cheering, the fans on the visiting side booing. It is a 4th and 5 for the Royals, looking to get a first down here. White rolls out to the left side. He's going to keep it himself. He's got some clean air in front of him, and he's going out of bounds inside the 30-yard line for that mountain air first down.
Well, and the legs of Colby White cannot be discounted. You can look at this guy and say, he doesn't have a ton of rushing yardage on the year so far. He's got 322 yards, but this guy can scoot, especially when you give him that open area on the outside. That should be there a lot tonight. Most of the linebackers and D-line are going to be engaged up front, where you're going to have man coverage behind with this defensive shell.
White in a shotgun position, 2 backs in the backfield. Howard in motion, takes the handoff on the sweep. He's got some room for the first down, looking for the end zone. And that is a touchdown, Royals. No, he's saying they stepped out of bounds before he got to the end zone. A big gain for the senior wide receiver.
Yeah, his knee hit inside the 5. I think they're going to put him around the 4, maybe right on that 5-yard line, actually. Just a little bit short of that goal line. That's a tough play for a wide receiver to not just be asked to place your foot and head upfield at the right time, but to read the blocks correctly. That's what J.J. Howard does. He's a very special athlete on the football field, even more gifted on the hard court, and that's why we're going to be seeing him playing D1 basketball next year.
Hand off to the back, Cole Tanner, and Cole Tanner wiggles his way through the line for a Royals touchdown. And that touchdown, and every Mission Prep touchdown this season, brought to you by KD Capital Mortgage, located in beautiful Paso Robles. They will help you find the right mortgage to meet your needs for your home buying needs.
Give a lot of credit on that play to Isaac Townsend and R.J. Esmond up front, just getting fantastic blocks. Cole Tanner reads the blocks fantastically and walks into the end zone untouched, but fantastic blocking once again by the players up in front of him.
Shoot a leather, boot is up from Max Hanchett, and we have a 7-point lead for the Royals here in the first quarter with less than a minute taken off the clock. The Royals facing a 4th down on that, converting it. Stephen, what does this drive show for the Royals in this semifinal matchup?
Well, they showed a lot of resiliency getting that 4th down conversion and moving the ball forward, but the fact that that first drive almost went 3 and out is got to be a bit of a worry for the Royals, especially giving up that almost sack on that the third down there. That's got to give a little bit of worry for Mission Prep. But overall, very good bounce back, got the points. Things are moving in the right direction for Mission Prep, but it's Delano's chance to come back. Delano on offense runs more of a kind of modern triple option look, something that we saw with Paso and Aptos earlier in this season. However, they have a strong vertical threat in Gamez Helm. Gamez Helm has 28 receptions, 527 yards, 6 touchdowns as a receiver in a run-heavy scheme. He's going to be a guy to keep an eye on. He's over 6'3". I saw him walking around in warm-ups, and I got to say he might be even taller than that, and he's got that build of an athlete. He's going to stand out every time he takes the field.
And Max Hanchett getting ready to boot this one away as the Royals have a early 7-0 lead over the Thunderbirds. I like the name Thunderbird, Stephen.
It's a fantastic mascot, and it's something that's easy to decorate with. The only thing that's a bit disappointing is they don't seem to have that Thunderbird design on any of their helmets, their attire. It's really a unique mascot. I wish more teams would pick up that kind of imagery and style.
They do have wings on their helmets. And the kick taken inside the 10-yard line. And moving across the 25 before taken down by the kicking team of the Royals. And that is going to be 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds on their first drive of the night.
And we're going to get the first look of the night for this Thunderbird offense. Like I said, a run-heavy offense. Expect to see a lot of different ball carriers, a lot of misdirection using that ball. Their quarterback is going to be Julian Orozco. He's 62 for 124, 50% completion rating, over 1,000 hours in the season, 14 touchdowns.
Orozco hands off out of the backfield. And a quick takedown for the Royals. Carrying the ball for the Thunderbirds on the first carry is Jace Dimam. Oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher that one.
You're
Stephen,
going to have some fun tonight. I'll save you by bringing up the fact as Lucas Elmer blowing up that play right at the point of attack, even drove him backwards a little bit. They will give him forward progress, make it 2nd and 9.
Dimacoblin was carrying that ball. And once again, the ball handed off from Orozco.
Once again to Demicoblin, the freshman that had that long set of yardage earlier in the season. Actually, this looks like it went to Barraza, another running back. Like I said, they're going to be using a lot of different backs tonight, and those numbers a little faint for us to see as it's teal numbers on white jerseys for the Thunderbirds here. Kind of interesting that they're going teal on black, opened in 2008. Just like Pioneer Valley, teal on black, opened in 2008.
Popular color back then. Thanks to the Jaguars of the NFL. Handoff out of the back and stuffed hard. It once again was the back, Dimacoblin.
Kyle Hawk and Connor Lopez just winning their battles on the outside. I think that's supposed to be a read option play because they were unblocked, and I think the read should have been a keeper, and he ended up handing it off instead, and that's going to bring up 4th down. We'll see if they go for a fake here and try and get a quick way back into this game, or if we're going to keep it normal phases.
It's going to be 4th and 4. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Approaching 9-minute mark here in the first quarter. Royals showing heavy blitz at the line, sending everybody they got. Cole Tanner back to receive this one. He's going to let it bounce out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That's where the Royals will start on the right hash mark. Royals tonight wearing navy uniforms with Vegas gold trim, Vegas gold pants, navy Vegas helmets with gold trim.
Well, both teams had 4th downs on their first possessions, but it's the Royals that were able to overcome that and get the points out of their first time with the ball. So now the Royals get their second look at this. I think they had a lot of success, but they're going to need to try and make sure that they don't get that 4th down situation again, and they got to protect Colby White. This is a blitz-heavy team. Those seams are going to be evolving as the game goes on, as there's a substitution error by the looks of it.
Individual not on the field in time, but does make it out before the snap. Colby White gets the throw off before pressure coming. Intended target was Aiden Dolan, who lined up late.
I think Dolan was there. I think it's Tyler Garrett coming in late, but thrown in the direction of both of them, kind of a out and slant combo on the outside, heading towards the boundary. So right now, Royals trying to air it out a little bit more, and I like that idea because I think they have some good matchups against the defensive backs that the Thunderbirds present. Problem's going to be finding those matchups and making sure they're in the right place at the right time because the Thunderbirds are going to have a say in who's matched up on who the entire night.
2nd and 10 for the Royals, spotted at the 32 right hash. White shotgun looking to throw, chased out of the pocket by a bunch of big men, and the pressure coming. He gets the pass off, and they're going to say there was a target there.
No, he's outside the tackle pocket. He didn't need a target there. As long as the ball got past the line of scrimmage, and that's what happened there. Was ball went out of bounds around the 35. He's tackled in the backfield outside of the tackle pocket. So Mission Prep with a 3rd and long following 2 incompletes, something we haven't seen a lot of this year, A, because Mission Prep likes running the ball when they can, and B, because Colby White's been an efficient passer. He's been a fantastic quarterback. He got a preferred walk-on offer from Cal Poly just this last week, local college. So a lot of teams looking at this guy, and for good reason.
White, shotgun position, 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Quickly looking to throw this ball. Fires one deep. J.J. Howard, the intended target. Ball sails out of bounds over Howard's head, and the Royals face another 4th down in this contest. And this time the punt unit comes out on the 4th and 10, and kicking this one away. Well,
it's going to be Colby White back there from the looks of it.
yeah, that's a little shocking. Gage Cheney, Aiden Dolan have been known to boot these away. And that's a good punt from, and Kobe White delivers a good punt. Shades of Jack Susang doing it all.
Yeah, you know, when I was at Fresno State, the last year, well, second to last year, I was there. You know who led the team in punts inside the 20?
The kicker.
Derek Carr led the
Carr.
team. As anytime we got across the 50-yard line, we'd have a call where, hey, you know what? If it's 4th and between the sticks, we're going to line up like it's a normal play, and if we get the look we want, we'll throw it. Otherwise, punt it.
Handoff out of the backfield to Helm. And Jimenez Helm with the carry. Decent carry, bring up 2nd down and short yardage.
Well, Helm versus George Kardashian there. George Kardashian riding him all the way outside the line of scrimmage. Helm with a vicious stiff arm straight to the face mask, though, and that's going to get some feathers ruffled on both sides of the ball. This is going to start to become a very intense and personal matchup very quickly, despite the 2 teams not knowing each other that well.
Handoff once again on the motion, and Orozco hands it off to the back. Orozco. Now we have 2 Orozcos on the field this time.
Yep. Esteban Orozco
Esteban
with the run,
Orozco.
getting the handoff from Julian Orozco. Just nice little orbit sweep there as his orbit off the flanker side. Gets all the way to the outside and pushes forward for the 1st down. Mission had a lot of success the first time out, and now the Thunderbirds trying to stay outside the tackle box. So I think this is a concession by the Thunderbirds.
8:20 on the clock on the snap. And a short game for Helm. Getting to midfield on the carry, just across the 50s where they're going to spot it in Mission Prep territory. As we click 4 minutes off the clock here in the 1st quarter. Royals lead 7-0 in downtown San Luis Obispo. We appreciate everybody joining us. Jump on that chat. Let us know where you guys are from. We do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. 2nd and 5 for the Thunderbirds. And handed off to Esteban Orozco for a short gain, making it what would be a easy 3rd down to work with.
And then it's that classic wing option kind of setup where you're going to see a lot of 3rd downs, but as long as you're converting them at a big clip, the coaching staff's not going to get too nervous about it. We're seeing a lot of misdirection early, and with the Royals winning the battle up front, we're seeing the Thunderbirds stay away from that tackle box. They're pushing to the outside, so you get to 3rd down, that's a riskier proposition as they're in a silver tee. We'll see what happens here.
Hand off to Helm on this one. And Helm taken down by Kardashian. Excuse me, Jaden Nozil on that one. And that's enough for a 1st down. A big break, giving them 3rd down conversion inside the 40-yard line now. Pushing into Mission Prep territory, the Thunderbirds.
And silver tee's a beautiful formation. Gave Helm 2 lead blockers there as he went off tackle, but inside the tight end. Gets a big push up front and gains a lot of yardage on 3rd down. Helm is going to be one of those dynamic backs we're going to keep an eye on all night. Also, like I said, a fantastic wide receiver in his own right.
Hand out to Esteban Orozco. And Esteban Orozco not going anywhere thanks to the line of the Royals.
Yeah, big push up front along the line allowed Isaac Townsend to slice in and get that tackle. Kyle Hawk did a fantastic job. When you talk about these triple option type teams, those battles inside, where the guards can go and not go, is going to be the big storyline for the offense of the Thunderbirds. Kyle Hawk is the guy that's going to be in charge of how that ends up for the Royals, and he's been fantastic inside the line for the Royals all year long.
We got a firefighter in the house tonight on the chat. Appreciate your service to your community. Orozco, deep pass, and Terry almost gets his hands on it for the interception. Would not be his first this season.
When you're running these run-heavy offenses, you need to have a big arm, and that's exactly what Orozco brings. And unfortunately, his arm, more of a mortar than a guided missile sometimes, as we see there, just overfires his wide receiver. And when you've got that one-on-one coverage, overfiring's usually the safer option, but not in that case. Terry almost gets his hands on, shows off his wheels, and that could have been bad for the Thunderbirds.
Orozco under center, and that handoff goes nowhere as the bodies pile up on Helm. And we face a third down.
Take your pick of the big guys up there. Case Christensen, Kyle Hawk, everyone was in the backfield there, especially the 4 down linemen up front. Just a clean win by the defensive line. Kennedy's got to be looking at some new plays in the playbook because they haven't had to get into a light formation yet, and we're seeing a lot of substitutions here. They're going a bit deep into the pages.
And the student section here on the Mission Prep side warming up their vocal cords as we show some receivers out here on the near side now. 2 to the near side, the Royals adjust. Orozco under center, hands off, quick handoff in the backfield to Salvador Sanchez Jr. And he stops short. That is a turnover on downs. Royals are going to start with the ball at the 30-yard line on the right hash mark, about the same spot they started last time. Correction, 31-yard line.
Mario Loera with the tackle there, forcing the turnover on downs. Just a smart play where those quick handoffs are there to victimize guys like Mario Loera as the linebackers try and drop back into pass coverage. No one is 4th down, they're playing the sticks. Mario Loera has his head on a swivel, gets back downfield, gets the tackle before the sticks, and gives the Royals back the ball. What a play by the linebacker. He's been making plays like that all year long. Just a big body with a smart head on top.
2 backs in the backfield with Colby White. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, fires over the middle to Terry. And Terry, they're saying it's incomplete. It bounced off the turf as dirt kicks up at the 40. I'd like to take that one to replay if we could, just to see if he caught it or not. I don't know either way. What do you think?
I think the dirt here is betraying Mission Prep a little bit there. I think I saw some dirt kick up as that ball hit the ground. If he had caught it with his arms, the dirt wouldn't have kicked up. So, unfortunately, I'm going to be the bad guy here and say, it's probably not a complete pass.
Okay, Razor Ramon.
I wish I could do that spit curl.
Ball spotted at the 31-yard line. We have a man in. Ooh, bad snap for the Royals. Colby White trying to get his hands on it. And the Thunderbirds come up with it deep in their Royals territory. And that is Sebastian Pimentel, the safety, coming through from the backfield to collect that one. And that is a mishap of many misfortunes.
It's tough playing against an odd front as a center. You've got to get the ball up and get your hands on the guy in front of you as quick as possible. And I think that's just a case of a little too much nerves, squeezing the ball a bit too tight, and it's shot back on him. You want to get a quick snap. You want to get a consistent snap. And when you got to do that and block and keep a cadence, it's a tough job. Center is the toughest job along the offensive line. And that is just a bad miscue. And if the Thunderbirds get control, are going to look to execute on this. It's going to be a red zone attempt right off the bat.
Ball spotted on the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Hand off to Helm. And Helm meets a pile of bodies for a 4-yard gain. And tonight's broadcast is presented by Papa Thai Cafe, which is an authentic Thai cuisine that brings your dining and takeout order to the upper echelon. Open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 3 and 4 to 9, right on Monterey Street.
Now going to be 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. And we've seen the Thunderbirds move the ball very well on the ground on that last drive. It's going to be tough getting to the end, though.
And a scrum at the line. Bodies pushing forward, trying to fight for every inch to get closer to that goal line. And they gain about 2 yards on 2nd down. Now faced a 3rd down and 3 to go to get to the goal line to find pay dirt to try to tie this one up here in the first quarter with 3:45 on the clock. Clock continues to run.
Barraza going off tackle to the left after it was Helm before going off tackle to the right. They're trying to find the weaker spot. They're going to use that to attack the Royals as they get closer to this goal line.
Handoff to Helm once again. Helm pushing forward. And no signal for a touchdown. And short yardage up the middle. And I get to finally use my quantum measurement I've invented when I subbed in at Morro Bay in week 1 of the playoffs. And that is 4th and goal and a sniff of grandma's apple pie to get in the end zone. That's how close it is, Stephen. Handoff to Helm once again. Bodies pile up. Helm pushes over. That is a touchdown for the Thunderbirds. Our score now 7-6.
That was just a good push up front by the Thunderbirds. They had some issues on the first drive, winning the line of scrimmage. On the second drive is a little hit or miss. There, even though they took a number of chances to get it to the end zone, they're winning that battle up front. They're getting those lanes open. Mission has got to find a way to respond to it. This is a tough, hard-body team that's got a deeper depth chart than them, so it's going to be a big ask for the Royals. But that's what the playoffs are. You're not always going to be mashed up evenly. And the advantage that Kennedy has is numbers and a little bit of size. Even though Royals pretty big themselves, they're going both ways, just about across the entire roster.
Julian Orozco the hold. And the kick is good for Calderon. And it is 7-7 as the scoreboard gets misadjusted. Ooh, Royals automatically gain extra points. Our score is 7-7 here on the coast. Downtown San Luis Obispo. It is a beautiful night. I brought all the heavy coats. So did our cameraman. And he is not bundled up yet. So he's the official thermostat of the press box.
Hey, it's a good thermostat to have. Thomas Bowden does a fantastic job as the cameraman here. As long as we've been on video, he's been the guy. And, you know, we just keep an eye on him. When it's all bundled up, we know winds are whipping, things are cold. Today, pleasant.
Yeah, he brought the heavy jacket ready to go to the snow. But there's no snow in the forecast, but I understand you get cold very quickly. 2:58 on the clock, and we are all tied up on the Helm score. I suppose I should update my scorebook before I forget.
Well, no snow in our forecast, but there was snow in the forecast last week for Pioneer Valley, who's currently playing Templeton. We'll have score updates on that at halftime, as well as the other game on the Central Coast, which is Dos Palos at Atascadero.
And we got a friendly face broadcasting that game for Atascadero tonight, a homecoming of sorts. Connor Allen returns to the mic in his home school, and that one's on the ground. And the Thunderbirds don't want the Royals to return this one very much, but Cole Tanner starts delivering some bombs as he moves upfield. And the Royals will start at the, where are we going to put it, the 36-yard line, 37-yard line officially. 1st and 10 for the Royals, good field position.
Very smart move there by the Thunderbirds, not kicking it back to J.J. Howard after J.J. Howard got it into Thunderbird territory on the very first play of the game. So just squib kicking it, but still ended up in the hands of playmaker Cole Tanner. We've seen do a number of things on special teams and got a good chunky yardage there.
And Cole Tanner takes the handoff, and he's quickly taken down, per se, by the big back, Sergio Gonzalez. Just quickly finds him with his radar and wraps him up and didn't let him advance very far. 1-yard gain for Cole Tanner.
Sergio Gonzalez, the leading tackler for the Thunderbirds, and you can see why. That Nike linebacker, just that classical style cowboy collar too, I love it. Just wraps up and does not let go until the tackle's done. Whistle's blown. He's got a motor on him and is very much the field general out there.
I formation for the Royals. Tight end to the right side, Colby White steps back to throw deep pass to Howard. Howard pulls it in this time. And Howard with a big gain. And that is a Mountain Air first down. And the Royals down at the 20-yard line on the left hash mark into the red zone.
J.J. Howard showing off his big play ability again. Last week is a huge deal. He was really the heartbeat of the team last week against the Rio Grande Eagles. Here tonight, he had a big return to start the game off. Had that outside sweep that got a huge chunk of yardage and set up a score. Here gets another long catch. This one's going to set up the red zone once again.
White under center, I formation. Quick pass, toss to Tyler Garrett, and Tyler Garrett tied up. Here comes the pass interference. And Brandon Del Rio in on that coverage for the Thunderbirds.
And Tyler Garrett just got his glove pulled back behind his body as he's going. I think that was a catchable ball, and the referees agree. Pass interference on the defense. This will give the Royals a fresh set of downs, even closer to the red zone. Should be 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. Not sure if it is exactly on the 20, in which case it would be 1st and goal, but there might be a hair outside. There might be an outside chance. No, they'll put the sticks down.
Flag set to the Royal. First down, 1st and 10 from the 10.
Well, Royals, last time they were 1st and goal, they put the ball in for the end zone for the opening score. Here they'll get another look. Is Cole Tanner from about 5 yards out the last time.
Cole Tanner, the halfback, fullback, Isaac Townsend. Hand off to Cole Tanner. Tanner gets outside the tackle and quickly pulled to the turf. And Zavala in on that tackle.
And Cole Tanner had the hole open, started getting through it, and then the Thunderbirds do what they do best. They just were able to start getting off blocks and get to the running back. The Royals needed to be able to get that yardage as quick as possible. Those holes aren't going to be open long. The Thunderbirds are very much adaptive, moving fast, aggressive defense. That 3-3 stack is built around that. If you don't have an aggressive team with a 3-3 stack, well, you're not going to be in the playoffs.
Cole Tanner lined up behind his fullback. White under center. White looking to throw up to the corner. Left side. Tyler Garrett, one-handed catch. Touchdown, Royals for the 5-yard touchdown. That touchdown, every Mission Prep touchdown, brought to you by KD Capital Mortgage, located in beautiful Paso Robles. They will help you with your mortgage needs.
I think Tyler Garrett's looking for the and one call from the referee there. Of course, in football, it's automatic, but fought through the foul to get his hand out there and make that catch. That's one of the better high school catches you're ever going to see.
Max Hanchen in for the kick. And the boot is up. Extra point is good on to Napomo Street. And at 1:20 on the clock, the Royals lead the Thunderbirds 14-7 here in the CIF Central Section Division III semifinal.
And this has been an explosive start. It's been back and forth even through one. So we're not even talking through a first half or a game. This is a back and forth game through a quarter. So it's really going to come down to those mental skills we talked about during the pregame, where it's going to be about how did you prepare? How is this team built to kind of withstand a back and forth game like this throughout? Mission's had a lot of back and forth games, especially when it comes to offense. They've had a lot of teams like San Ynez, Lompoc, AG twice that have really come along and challenged them time and time again. So I fully expect the Royals are ready. I know Kennedy's ready as well. It's just it's going to be back and forth game.
And the Royals getting ready to kick this one off. This Sunday Car Wash kickoff. Sunday Car Wash open in downtown San Luis Obispo. Check them out at 363 Santa Rosa Street or online at sundaycarwash.com for your chance to win free car wash for life.
Interesting here. Looks like Hanchis lining up for a sky kick to the left, but there's no Thunderbirds there.
And that's what they do. Directly into the hands. Ooh, big hit. And a solid return for Guevara. And Champ Morrissey with the huge hit to end that one.
They ended up kicking it deep, but the Thunderbirds have a little bit of a slanted return setup where they're trying to favor one side of the field, get the blockers there, and set up for a big special teams play. Of course, that's what you do on kickoff return, but they're gambling a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Royals try and go for a shallow kick there and have a chance to return, as the Thunderbirds giving up the entire left side of the field as the kickoff cover team saw it. As the Thunderbirds come back out, it's going to be Jimmy Flores coming up to the near side of the field as we see it.
54 seconds on the clock for the Thunderbirds. Orozco hands off to Helm, and Helm taken down. Connor Lopez initiates the tackle, gets a help from a number of other Royals, and it's second down for the Thunderbirds.
When I saw on that play that I really like for the Royals is the fact that they're playing good assignment football against an option team. When you're playing an option team, you can't try and help people out with their assignments. You can't cheat one way or the other. There is a fake orbit pitch. No one bid on it. They stayed up with their assignments, and that's what led to the short tackle.
Orozco throws off to the left side. Pass complete. And Luke Terry with the tackle in the flat. And that brings up third down for the Thunderbirds. And with 2 seconds left on the clock, we bring the score clock back in for you. And that's the end of the first quarter. Your Royals lead the Kennedy Thunderbirds 14-7 here on the Central Coast in CIAF Division III semifinal action.
Do you want to eat where the Royals eat? Well, just because the game finishes doesn't mean there's no fifth quarter spot. And for us, it's Milestone Tavern, proud sponsor of Mission Prep High School football, located right off of Foothill with all the TVs, all the fresh drinks, and fantastic food specials every single night. Milestone Tavern is open every day and the favorite spot for our Mission Prep Royals. Milestone Tavern, go check them out.
Welcome back to CIF Central Section Division III action semifinals between the Royals and the Thunderbirds. Number 1 versus number 4. We're going to start the second quarter here in downtown San Luis Obispo. Tonight's broadcast presented by California Fresh Market and driven by Hyundai of San Luis Obispo. I'm Brian Stanley, joining me, Stephen Hodges. And Orozco takes a snap for the Thunderbirds, rolling out, chased down by Mario Lara. Pass complete to Helm. A good pass across the 50. And that is a solid gain for the Thunderbirds as they trail by 7 to start the second quarter.
Jaden Oziel making the tackle just a little bit too late as his Helm getting wide open on the deep overarching crossing route behind the defense. That's a tough route to defend for a defense because it's long developing and goes through multiple zones and it can cause confusion. So well run route by Helm, got himself open deep, and now it's going to be Thunderbird ball in Royals territory.
Orozco bringing in his receivers just a little bit, tightening in the lineup. The shovel pass to Helm, and Helm trying to gain some yard, breaks loose to second base, and he's safe at second for a big 9-yard gain for the Thunderbird off to the left side.
And like I said during that first possession, every time Helm's on the field, you're going to notice him. He's a big athlete, has a lot of speed, a lot of ability to break free like that. He's a strong guy, something I would expect to see him play on Saturdays going forward. I'm not sure the type of offers he's gotten, if he's gotten any offers, but he's got that frame, the build, the IQ, everything you want to see from one of those all-purpose backs. Wide receiver, running back, he does it all.
Receiver on the near side is Jimmy Flores. 2 backs in the backfield. Hands off to Orozco. Hand off to Jace Demacoblin. And that's enough for a Thunderbirds first down. Moving the sticks. Moving the ball back to the right side of the field. Closer to the Thunderbirds bench.
It's a good old-fashioned duo play there. It's power without the pulling guard. Where you're going to have the same double teams, all of that on the play side, and you've got a guy like Demacoblin that can really get that first gear going and get the ball moving. It's going to lead to the chains moving with him.
Orozco under center. Hands off to Demacoblin once again.
Up the middle.
And Demacoblin with a short gain
By Mario Luetta.
before he's met by the defensive line, led by Mario Loera.
And up front, you might be wondering, how are they getting that leverage with big guys like Hal Hawk and Case Christensen up front that have been causing so much chaos so far? They're getting double teamed out of the way. So it's going to be up to the linebacking core of Mario Loera to find those gaps and wedges and not get washed away with everyone else. It's going to be a tough game for the linebackers as there's a shell game going on behind the line of scrimmage on the other side.
Helm in motion. Orozco looking to throw this one, chased out of the pocket and pulled down quickly by Chase Christensen. And we have Laundry on the field. Face masking on the defense. And that's going to hurt just a little bit.
Well, it's an interesting call. I'm not sure if it came from the wrong angle or if I saw it wrong. It looked like Christensen had his hands on the shoulder pads, which is a legal way to pull someone down. You're not allowed to reach inside the pads or anything like that, but maybe someone else got a hand on a face mask and I just didn't see it. But that's a painful penalty for the Royals. They're going to be marched all the way back near their own goal line there.
Under 9:45 to go here in the second quarter. Orozco hands off to the back. And a takedown by Connor Lopez.
Demacoblin there with the carry from looks of it. I know it was Orozco. Like I said, a little bit of a shell game and low fade numbers, but trying to go between the guards and the tackle have been really problematic for the Thunderbirds. The Royals are doing a good job in the trenches. You got to do that to keep the defense honest, but it's been very short yardage gains by the Thunderbirds here today, even by triple option metrics.
Two receivers out to the left side, and a pass to the backfield to Helm. Helm working his way towards the end zone, and he's in. And Helm finds the end zone with an 11-yard completion.
Well, what does it mean to keep the defense honest? That's exactly it. They fake the dive up front. That gets everyone looking inside, pinching towards the middle of the formation, and then just a nice little flat pass out to Helm. Helm gets the ball in his hands, and we've been talking about what a playmaker he is all evening long. Just forces his way into the end zone despite a lot of defensive interference trying to get in his way. And pending the PAT, that should tie the game here early in the second quarter.
And awaiting the kick from Carlos Calderon. And that one's through the uprights onto Napomo Street. And our score is 14-14 between number 1 and number 4 in CIF Central Section Division III semifinal matchup. Stephen, so far, Royal score a rushing touchdown.
Yes.
Thunderbirds score a rushing touchdown.
Yes.
Royal score a passing touchdown. Thunderbirds score a passing touchdown.
Yeah, it sounds like you got it so far.
So it sounds like whatever you can do, I can do better.
Well, the problem is the score still is equal at the end. If you're going to try and do it better, well, you got to do it more, and that's going to be the game going forward. The Thunderbirds had that extra possession in their pocket. They lost the coin flip, they won the coin flip and deferred to the second half. And that means that when they come back out, they're going to have that extra possession. It's on the Royals right now to try and build up that lead so that they don't have to worry about the Thunderbirds getting the ball back. They don't have to worry about Kennedy having that extra little chance to get something going, because in their mind, if they're able to move this ball well, they'll be ahead and can afford that one possession. But it all comes down to this upcoming possession and what the Royals can do with it, if they even require it. We've seen some good special teams play so far by both sides.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by Old Slow Barbecue, a proud supporter of Mission Prep Royals Athletics. Open 7 days a week. We encourage you to stop by after the next game. Open late Fridays and Saturdays, located on Higuera and Broad here in San Luis Obispo. Luke Terry, J.J. Howard back to return this one. Calderon boots it off the turf, gets a high bounce, and Cole Tanner lets it settle on the turf before he picks it up. I guess it slipped through his fingers is why it settled on the turf, but able to recover. That one almost turned dangerous for the Royals.
And that's why on an onside kick, they typically tell the front linesman, hey, if this is coming to you, just dive on it. You know, it's not easy to catch those rolling balls, especially because when it's spinning at a high speed that has a propensity to jump, it can change directions. It's not easy to field a rolling ball like that, and that's what makes squib kicks so exciting. But typically, just like that, they get a second chance because it's a deep kick. They didn't have anyone on top of them. He can pick up the ball and just push it forward.
Royals with a 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. 4 linemen inside the hash mark. Pass complete quickly to Luke Terry. And Luke Terry taken down at the 41-yard line. A 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 for the Royals.
And they're going to be using a lot of that kind of quick tempo West Coast offense because they think they can win the outside battle here. The defensive backs versus the wide receivers of the Mission Prep Royals. That's going to be an ongoing battle through the night. The offensive line up front trying to push through this 3-3 stack defense has been challenging for this run game.
Royals quarterback Colby White working from the shotgun. Quick pitch to Luke Terry. And Luke Terry weaving his way down the right hash mark for the first down, and that's a Mountain Air first down. Check him out for the outdoorsmen from the novice to the experience. 667 Marsh Street here in San Luis Obispo.
We talk a lot about saving touchdowns when you're the last guy back, but Brandon Del Rio just saved a touchdown as the second to last guy back. J.J. Howard had a fantastic block up front, and if Del Rio was any slower, Luke Terry would have had that one more cut and would have been able to bounce out to the outside where there were no Thunderbirds left. Great play by Brandon Del Rio, even though it's not going to make a highlight reel anywhere. He stepped up and made a big play that really wasn't his to make.
Royals trying to regain the lead. They've led as much as 7 in this contest. And the fake to Howard. White's going to keep it himself, getting a block from Cole Tanner. And that's a 5-yard gain for the quarterback as he steps to meet with his quarterback coach, Eric Terry, his head coach, David Schuster, and his offensive coordinator, who's also David Schuster.
Sergio Gonzalez coming in, laying down the big hit there. And when you've got a Mike linebacker coming down on a quarterback, they're always going to take that extra shot. They're going to take it as big as they can, and he's a great example of that. Just going in there, making the big tackle as the leading tackler on this team.
Under 7 minutes to go now here in the second quarter. White with backs on each side of him. That pass to Luke Terry, broken up on the hit, and that hit is delivered by De La Cuevas.
Well, De La Cueva is one of those guys that he plays on the outside as a nickelback, rover, however you want to call it. He's that 5th defensive back of the 5 defensive backs. He'll get in the backfield, make some sacks happen here, makes a big hit happen on the outside to break up a sure thing pass play. Luke Terry had his hands all over and just wasn't able to bring in.
Appreciate the update from our fans letting us we have a good signal going on. Howard on the near side. 5 receivers set for the Royals on 3rd down and 5. And White escapes the pressure in the pocket and gets a 1-yard, 2-yard gain, bringing up a 4th and 3. That play did not break out the way the Royals had designed.
Harajon with the pressure coming off the outside is a double fire blitz from the outside, and Harajon not one to miss often. He leads the team in sacks, and you can see why. He got a clear shot at Colby White, and Colby White had to pack everything up and leave town in order to avoid that one. He was only able to get a few yards on the run because there really wasn't much running room up front.
6:15 on the clock and running. 4th and 3 for the Royals. Trying to keep this drive alive. Pressure shown at the line. Pass to J.J. Howard, broken up by Brandon Del Rio. Getting his name into the stat books tonight once again.
And Del Rio with just a fantastic job getting his arm in and breaking that pass up. It's one of those stemmed slant plays where he went 3 steps straight forward and then cut inside. Del Rio sensed that, got inside, got his hand in, broke that up on another sure pass. Well delivered ball to a wide receiver that can make that catch. and that just falls to the ground.
So that turnover on downs, Royals ball, Thunderbirds ball, 45-yard line. Quick pass to Helm from Orozco, quick fired pass. And that pass completed out to the right side. And Helm brought down on the 50 number. Well, 2 yards short actually. So it's going to be 2nd and 7 for the Thunderbirds at the 48 of their own.
Just his speed out there is, hey, I'm going to just immediately turn right at the line, and that's going to give me 3 yards past the line. I'm going to try and use that speed to get to the outside and stretch the defense horizontally. Carl Lopez there to stop it from developing into something even bigger.
Salazar, the near receiver. Orozco communicating with his backs. And that pressure comes, and David Lorera in the backfield quickly. A little miscommunication from the Thunderbirds. And that's a 3rd down. And 7, no gain for Orozco with the tackle from David Lorera.
David Loera, one of those twin towers of the defense, him along with his brother Mario Loera, do a fantastic job patrolling the line of scrimmage and making sure nothing gets broken for a big game. There he got into the backfield, brought down the runner for a small loss, if any at all. But that's what he brings. He's a big gap-filling linebacker.
Orozco moving Helm out from the backfield. Helm now in motion. The pitch to Helm on the sweep. And Helm getting taken down by Drew Harrigan, a name we haven't called much tonight, if any. And that brings up, I lost track of downs. 4th down and
Gonna be 4th and short, if much at all. In fact, it'll end up being 4th and 3, but they're going to be going for it. This is an offense that the coaching staff at Kennedy clearly has a lot of faith in. They're moving the ball quite well. I'd expect to see them go back to a similar concept of a pitch to the outside, as that's been where the running room has been most clear for the Thunderbirds tonight.
Thunderbirds chipping off yardage bit by bit. Helm with the handoff. Helm turns the corner on the tackle, and Helm is marked at the 45. And we wait for the official to decide to move the sticks. Do we get a measurement? I always love when we get a measurement.
We're getting a measurement.
Perfect. Give me a chance to talk to you here, Stephen. So we mentioned a few minutes ago, we saw that David Loera in the backfield with a huge stop on the quarterback Orozco of the Thunderbirds. Last week's game solidified the deal. David Loera is the single season as they get enough for the 1st down. The visiting team erupts in joy and excitement. But back to my statement, he solidified the deal to be the all-time leading tackler here at Mission College Prep.
Yes, taking the title away from Dalton Strauss, the current Wyoming Cowboy, out there having a great time in Laramie. And that's a tough thing to get, because when you're a leading tackler, teams tend to move away from you. They tend to stop going your direction. One of the things that's really helped out David Loera is his ranginess. He's always able to find that ball and get to it and force the tackle.
Hand off to Helm once again. Helm delivering a Stephan, pushing forward, trying to get to the 40, and moves just inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. It also helps when you have your twin brother who's just as vicious as you are on the opposite side of the field, so you have either one side or the other to get tackled on.
Yeah, they've been able to balance each other out as a result. There's never been a time where one's been here and the other hasn't. They don't take single snaps. You know, it's not like one's going both ways and the other one isn't. Both of them play both directions as tight end. Both of them play both directions as a linebacker. They do fantastic work. This is going to be a handoff off to the left side of Dan.
And the handoff to the left side.
Then McCablin with the handoff there is Drew Harrigan with the tackle. Second tackle on this drive for the typical running back. He's normally that power back to, you know, the Thunder Lightning combo you always hear about with running backs. He's usually the Thunder to Cole Tanner's Lightning. Haven't seen him running the ball much tonight, though, so this might be where they have him assigned for this game. He's been getting a little banged up going both ways over the last couple games with St. Joseph and Arroyo Grande. he had some issues towards the end of the game. So trying to limit his reps from the looks of it.
DeMacabla going off to the sideline. Orozco working from the shotgun now. Looking to throw this one, and nowhere to go. Radar locked in. Mario Loera, boomstick delivered.
I mean, I don't know what Orozco was thinking was going to happen. He was staring down Mario Loera coming down the side, and I got to say, if Mario Loera was going to tackle me, I'd have the same reaction, but I don't put the pads on for a reason. Just taking an absolute label mark from Mario Loera with a big-time sack on 3rd down. This will bring out the punt unit.
4th and 10 for the Thunderbirds now, following that big sack delivered by Mario Loera. And we get a return now from Drew Harrigan. We get to see the train, the locomotive, get warmed up. The tracks are laid. Let's go to work, boys. Oh, no. Connor Lopez got a little excited.
Well, there's a little discussion, but this is going to be offsides from the looks of it against the Royals. Are marching the ball forward. And I wonder if this changes the math for the Thunderbirds. Kennedy has gone for it on 4th down in similar situations. In fact, they've gone for it on 4th down on this drive, but no sign from the sideline. They're going to keep it out there.
1:40 on the clock now as the punt unit stays on the field. Drew Harrigan in the backfield drops the punt. Still able to get it off, and Harrigan's not going to return this one, as that one's going to fall dead around the 20-yard line. And the Royals have 1:26 to work with. All 3 timeouts on the board. Have an opportunity to score here before going into the locker room at the break with a 7-0 lead as the Thunderbirds have the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, this is a critical play drive for the Royals right now. If they're able to score, it's going to change the dynamics of this entire game, because right now the Royals have a chance to make sure that that possession coming out of the half doesn't count for nearly as much. A lot of things that coaches talk about. One of the things that they talk about is the middle 6. The last 3 minutes going into the half, first 3 minutes coming out of it. Teams that win that win most of their games. So these middle 6 plays, critical for the Royals and Thunderbird.
Royals hand off to Cole Tanner. Cole Tanner's trying to get the ball moving. And a short gain for Tanner of 4 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 6 as the clock continues to run under 1:20 now here in the second quarter.
De La Cueva putting on a big tackle there. He's kind of lost in open space, but made sure that there's no extra yardage gain by just laying down the shoulder. What a tackle there by De La Cueva. He's one of those big-time guys that you talk about. He's got 9 tackles for loss recorded on the season, as well as 5 sacks, 51 tackles. De La Cueva, a major player on this Thunderbirds defense.
Under 50 seconds to go now. J.J. Howard on the near side, Tyler Garrett on the far side. And we have a timeout taken by the Royals. We'll join the Royals in the timeout. Royals football continues. We're tied here in the CIF Central Section Division III semifinal.
Sunday Car Wash is coming to SLO this October. The Car Wash will be taking over Superior Express Wash on Santa Rosa, just off the 101. But they'll be bringing a whole new experience, from new equipment in the tunnel to gifts for your kids and pups every time you visit. Sunday Car Wash is redefining what it means to get your car washed. For more information, visit SundayCarWash.com. Proud supporters of Mission Prep Football.
Welcome back to Mission Prep Football. Let me hit the right button there. That always helps when you press the right buttons on the keyboard.
Usually.
And we have 42.8 seconds remaining. Coming out of the Mission Prep timeout. I feel like they're going to try to push this one down the field real quick.
I'd be a little bit surprised. They let a lot of time go off the clock there. Not a lot of urgency in the giddy-up. They did take that timeout, but I have a feeling as to avoid the delay of game penalty, I wouldn't be surprised to see them to just try and push the ball downfield using the run game here.
White under center, 2 backs behind him. The pressure coming, and White pulled down at the pitcher's mound and delivering the hit for the Thunderbirds, Sergio Gonzalez.
And Sergio Gonzalez, that big Mike linebacker, middle of the defense, field general, does it all for the Thunderbirds, and there gets a huge sack. One of the things that makes a 3-3 sack so vicious is that the players get to choose their own matchups in certain formations. We've been seeing him all night, pointing out where he wants to go, lined up that sack perfectly. And I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, the Royals are going to let this one roll out. No point in putting any more danger here. And the Royals are going to go to the break, tied up with the Thunderbirds, 14-14 here in the CIF Division III Central Section semifinal matchup. It's number 1 versus number 4, and it's proven to be the best game that we could have for this matchup. I feel it's going every way I thought it would, right down to the being tied up.
Yep, going to be down to the wire.
There we go,
was a game
down to the wire.
Game that was projected to be a 1-point game from Cal Preps. Right now, tied exactly, and so we'll be right back. And
yeah, we'll be back to talk about this one. Stephen's got a lot to say.
Feel like eating out, maybe ordering in? Why not try Papa's Thai Cafe, proud sponsor of Mission Prep High School football. Located right downtown off Monterey and Johnson, open Tuesday to Sunday, Papa Thai's Cafe.
Located off Highway 101, just minutes from downtown San Luis Obispo, Pismo Beach, and Central Coast Wine Country. Book your next Central Coast stay at Madonna Inn. With 110 unique guest rooms, on-site restaurants, bars, bakery, shopping, hiking, biking, and day spa, Madonna Inn is your travel destination dream. Let's go Mission Prep. Let's stay at Madonna Inn.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance Agent Jennifer White can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. Call Farmers Agent Jennifer White today at 805-592-1272. That's Jennifer White at 805-592-1272.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Stephen, we got a couple of those commercial breaks out of the way. Making money thingy or whatever we do with there. I don't know. I'm never a part of those ads. I just know I have to make them. And they're a pain in the butt. So here we are.
There you go.
We do appreciate all our sponsors this season. I'm going to name them all off real quick just to make sure you all know that we're proud of them being a part of this broadcast. Mercedes-Benz of San Luis Obispo. They're the place to go if you're looking for a Mercedes-Benz. They can get you that model you're looking for. Kennedy Club Fitness is always a proud partner of getting healthy and fit, and that's what they do here at Mission College Prep. California Fresh Market, been a supporter since day one when Mission Prep and Prep Sports Networks joined forces, so they've been down since day one. They're OG supporters. Hyundai at San Luis Obispo, driven by Hyundai. This broadcast has been all season long. We do appreciate them. Via Automotive, they're the place to go if you want to keep your car running healthy and fit, just like our athletics do here on the field. So go ahead and check out Via Automotive. We got Milestone Tavern, the official post-game hangout, and they host road parties for the road games. So we love them there. Sunday Car Wash. Go get a car wash at Sunday Car Wash. Now open at 363 Santa Rosa Street. Let me say that again for Sunday Car Wash, 363. One more time, 363 Santa Rosa Street. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes.
I'll make it easier for you. It's on Santa Rosa, right by the Taco Bell that Clearance Clearwater had the famous photo at. If you live in SLO, you know the Taco Bell.
Boom! Dropping the mic, Stephen. Y'all know. And we'll just keep going on real quick. KD Capital, located in beautiful Paso Robles. Papa Thai Cafe, bringing Thai cuisine to the upper echelons of your dining experience. I could be a spokesman for these companies.
I mean, you technically are right now.
Oh, really? I am. Madonna Inn, enough said. Enough said. Jennifer White, Farmers Insurance, check her out. She'll get you a good rate on Farmers Insurance. Grocery Outlet, Bargain Market, always a good place to go. Honey's Pizza, we always love pizza around these parts. Yeah, and we'll continue on here. Sunset Honda, good place to go get a Honda. I love my Honda. You got a Honda.
Yep.
Making car buying easy. And Orange Theory Fitness, located in the Slope Public Market. And as we go on, Old Slow Barbecue, CB Chevrolet, Mountain Air, all proud sponsors of Mission Prep Football, Stephen.
I do want to go back, since she said Madonna and enough said. If you're watching from Delano and you're wondering, hey, I want to get out to the coast, and you want to know what's going on with the Madonna Inn, it has the world's best men's bathroom. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact. Discovery Channel has named it as such. It's located in the main lobby. You go downstairs. You'll see it when you get there. It's a fantastic experience. Best bathroom experience you're going to ever have.
Real quick. We have a commercial that displays the Madonna Inn. I played it already.
I don't think it displays the bathroom, though. That's a
no,
very
it doesn't.
I'm letting you know. If you're coming to San Luis Obispo, go to the Madonna Inn, go to the men's bathroom. It's a weird ask, I know.
But if you're
locals know we're the locals.
But if you're looking for a quick getaway, that's not too far. That's very unique and very special.
There you go.
We have one in our backyard, and it's called the Madonna Inn. And just for the namesake of the Madonna Inn, and me kind of passing over, because I know we have a lot of fans that are out from outside the area, let's give them a sneak peek of the Madonna Inn.
Located off Highway 101, just minutes from downtown San Luis Obispo, Pismo Beach, and Central Coast Wine Country. Book your next Central Coast stay at Madonna Inn. With 110 unique guest rooms, on-site restaurants, bars, bakery, shopping, hiking, biking, and day spa, Madonna Inn is your travel destination dream. Let's go Mission Prep. Let's stay at Madonna Inn.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the famous Madonna Inn, located right here off the 101 freeway, founded by Alex Madonna.
Yeah, you wonder why the freeway goes right in there. It's because he was a freewayman. He made the highways, Law 101, all that. So when he had his hotel built, he made the freeway exit go right into the Madonna Inn. Has a lot of Tesla chargers, all that. We're always grateful for their support. Thank you so much to the Madonna Inn. We're going to take a look around the area right now. As a lot of Central Coast teams still alive. In fact, guaranteed to have local action here next week, as Dos Palos is playing Atascadero. Atascadero currently up 21-0 in that game. That's not the guarantee, though, because we have an all-local matchup going on simultaneously in North County between Pioneer Valley out of Santa Maria and Templeton. That game currently 7-2 at halftime, so chance for a scoregami there for those that track those types of things. Right here in San Luis Obispo, we're currently tied 14-14 in Division III action as CIS Central Section semifinal game.
And our score is 14-14. Let me break it down how we got here.
All righty.
Started off in the first quarter, 11:02, 58 seconds into the game. Cole Tanner with a 5-yard run, and that whole drive was set up by a return from J.J. Howard across the 50-yard line. We're up 7-0 Mission Prep. And then in the first quarter at 2:58, running back Helm. I'm sorry here, forgive me. Trying to find his first name here. Hemez Helm, if I pronounced that right, forgive me if I didn't. Broke in for a 1-yard run. We tied 7-7 in the first quarter. And then moments later, 1:20 in the first quarter, White connects with Tyler Garrett for a 5-yard pass. Royals go up 14-7. And then with 8:34 in the second quarter, Julian Orozco connects with Hemez Helm for an 11-yard completion, making it 14-14. And that brings us to the half, Stephen. And what do the Royals defense have to do to contain the backs? Because they're using the trickery of multiple backs and where is it going, who's going to get the ball, and it's got me a couple times tonight.
Yeah, it's all about individual responsibility, right? When you get into these types of wing sets, you typically assign a man-to-man defense. You say, hey, you know what? You always have the quarterback. You always have this wing back, or you always have this fullback. Or, hey, you have this gap. If you go to a more zone style of doing things where you tell the linebacker, you have the A gap. That's the gap between the center and the guard. You know, this guy's going to have the B gap. This guy's going to have the C gap, et cetera. When you hear guys described as two-gap players, that's what they're talking about. And those guys are assets because they can take up 2 assignments and free up another player to do something else, say just play very deep, or, hey, come blitz, try and gamble to get a tackle for a loss. So they need to remember those assignments. They need to be able to execute on that plan and make sure that those things are going correctly. And so when we see kind of breakdowns happen, a lot of it's happening because, well, some of it's scheme where they're trying to pinch into the center and it's bouncing to the outside. That's on the coaches. That's nothing that the players can do. But defensively, they need to adjust and make sure that they're getting that contained between the tackle and the tight end, that D gap out to the outside. They need to compress that down because those open gaps are what are causing these big gashes to happen. Outside of that, they're really doing a good job up front. They're keeping the A and B gaps pretty well under control through Case Christensen and Kyle Hawk. In fact, I'd say that that's been one of the brightest spots for the Royals has been that D tackle play down in the trenches, down near the center, down near the football. So when you look at what the Royals can do differently, it's really just coming down to execution. They have to make sure that they pace themselves and don't burn themselves out trying to fire their wad early, but you also can't wait until the end of the game to make things happen. You've got to make these big plays happen quick because you've only got potentially 24 minutes of play left. And if you don't execute well, that's it.
Well, let's look at the other side of the ball now. We haven't seen Drew Harrigan carry the ball once or even step into the backfield for the offense this game. We've seen him on the defensive side of the ball. You mentioned that we're seeing a different rotation in the backfield for the Royals offense because they're trying to limit his reps due to elements that are nagging him on the field with contact with the hits that he's taking. So they're trying to make his season progress longer so he's healthy when they get down the stretch. If they get to a championship game or they make a state championship run, they want their main back healthy.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, and you can't gamble too much on saying, well, we're going to go to state, so we need this guy.
No.
Oh, we're going to make the championship game for sure. Right now, I think it's more a game of, hey, this is an important player. He's a little bit banged up. We don't want to push when we've got a 2-back system now. Ever since Cole Tanner's been here, they haven't had to lean on Drew Harrigan as heavily. I think that they're just reaping the benefits of having 2 fantastic running backs right now, more than they're saying, well, we're going to say, you can't save anything in the playoffs. You got to fire your shot. You got to get things going.
No, but I understand that. It's also the health of the individual.
Yeah.
But my question on this is that to a degree affecting this offense in its performance, not having that heavy hitter of Drew Harrigan and that freight train momentum that he brings to the run plays, as opposed to Cole Tanner and the limited reps he's had with this backfield, coming into this game with only 51 carries on the season compared to Drew Harrigan's 186.
Anytime you have a player out, it's not going to help your offense. But I think Cole Tanner is a fantastic running back in his own right. I wouldn't put too much weight into having one guy versus the other. When you've got 2 backs that can run the ball well, you can only give the ball to one of them at a time. Right now, that's Cole Tanner, and I don't think that by him running the ball versus Drew Harrigan, that you can say that the offense is performing any better or worse as a result. There's a lot of factors beyond the running back that go into the run game that I look at before I look at who's actually physically carrying the football, because Cole Tanner's got a touchdown on the board already. He's had a couple of looks where he's gotten some good yardage out. Would another person do better? Yeah, you could get Derrick Henry when he was in high school out here. That'd change things around. But, you can't play those what-if games. I think Cole Tanner's been doing great for what he's been doing, and that's what matters for him right now. He's a good running back.
Well, if we're pulling people out of the clouds, I still got some eligibility, I think.
What's your 40 time?
Well, I can pick up some blocks.
Okay.
So well, let's move away from the actual game for a second, and I want you to adjust the camera down there to our lovely friend Kevin. You don't have to like really zoom in on him or anything.
It's too late. You name dropped him.
So, our buddy Kevin Reese there. I was talking to him before the game, and he let me know a tidbit. When he comes to our games and gets highlights, he goes off and does his editing. I don't know where he edits from. I didn't catch that part of it because that's not the point of the story. But because we are live on the air and we give this service away to our fans for free, he is able to watch the game, get the final score. So not only is he here at the game, but he goes and gives us viewership on the backside while he's editing his film for the broadcast for Friday Football Focus.
Well, it works out because I've known Kevin for quite some time. I've worked with him in a professional degree since 2008 while I was at Allen Hancock College. We always joke that he was the highlight hider, that anytime he showed up, the highlights would just disappear because when your job is to film the news, a lot of what you're doing is you're trying to get the most exciting plays, but then you've got to go back and edit it in time. So that's always the challenge, and we'd always say, yeah, as soon as you left, home runs would get hit in baseball, dunks would happen in basketball, that he's always the unlucky penny. So I'm glad that he gets to finally watch some highlights, even though it's through our stream rather than in person, even though we've had some good action here early in this game.
So we've had some great viewership tonight, or some of our highest viewership numbers of the night, of the season happening tonight. So we do appreciate everybody being with us tonight and all season long. Prep Sports Network is a proud presenter of Mission Prep Athletics. Coming up this winter is basketball as I jump onto the hardwood. Well, I don't really jump on the hardwood. That might be a bad idea. I don't really fall very well, as we've learned 2 weeks ago.
No, I'd recommend gently walking onto the hardwood. It's not a lot of elevation change when you start looking at just walking into the gym.
I'm getting to think that the CIF heard about my fall, and they're like, that guy needs a couple weeks off. So we're going to give the Royals a first-round bye, so Stanley can heal up and lick his wounds from falling off the ladder. And if you don't know, I'm a klutz. I fell off the ladder here into the stands, fell about 3 feet. I bruised my ego more than anything. So we're good to go. As Coach Hitchin returns to the press box to put on the headset to communicate with the crew on the field.
Yeah, interesting. Kennedy's taken over both sides of the field. I believe you're supposed to be on your designated side for warm-ups. But referees looking at this have nothing to say. So as we are in the designated warm-up period. We're coming back any minute now for those of you waiting patiently.
Yeah, we're coming back. We got about a minute and a half. So we're going to take a quick breather and play a couple of commercials. We'll be right back. Mission Prep Football rolls on.
We take this Mission Prep break to tell you about our friends at Gino's Pizza on Monterey Street in San Luis Obispo. They're open daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Give them a call if you're hungry right now, 805-752-1333. Now, why is Gino's unique? Well, they're a classic neighborhood family pizzeria known for distinctive pizza crusts, farm-fresh products, premium quality ingredients, and friendly service. At Gino's Pizza, they believe that pizza is one of, if not the only, heartwarming, mood-soothing, create a party ambiance anywhere, anytime, comfort foods. Get down to Gino's Pizza on Monterey Street in downtown San Luis Obispo. And tell them the Royals sent you. Orange Theory Fitness in the Slow Public Market is the smartest workout for more results. It only takes a minute inside our studio to understand it's not a competition, it's a community. Together, we're working toward a better version of ourselves to live a longer, more vibrant life. Orange Theory Fitness. Sign up the next time you stop by the Slow Public Market. Proud supporters of Mission Prep Football.
Welcome back. Sorry to hot mic you there on that cough, Stephen.
Let everyone know it's live entertainment.
Sometimes you catch the bloopers. And Coach Hitchin out on the field. Excuse me, Coach Hitchin, not Coach. We talked about Coach Hitchin.
Just talked about how he's up
Coach
here with
Schuster is out on the field. The Royals are out on the field. The Thunderbirds are out on the field. We got 24 minutes to decide a winner, and as if the clocks have reset and we only have a half of a game to play because we are tied up 14-14 here at the break.
Just talk about Coach Schuster for a second and what a great job he's done here with Mission Prep. Mission Prep was one of those teams that was consistently, you don't want to say underperforming. It's a small school here on the Central Coast, and he took it from a team that struggled to make playoffs, granted, much easier to make playoffs Central Section than Southern Section as it was back in the day, to one that is consistently performing at a high level. In fact, he's already won a CIF championship here, although it was in 8-man football. That playoff experience translates pretty well up to this level. He's always gotten out of these first rounds, getting deeper into the playoffs. So the question is going to be, can he translate that 8-man success finally to 11-man success here in Division III?
And fun fact, even though, however the outcome of this game will go down in the record books, it will be the 61st game in the record books for the Royals football squad under head coach David Schuster. This is his 60th game coached on the field, as they have one forfeit back in 8-man.
Yeah, and that wasn't his fault. They were too good.
Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying.
This
is his 60th coaching game with the Royals on the field. Because 61st game in total. And that one bounces. They're not going to I'm not sure if that was a smart idea. Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication.
Yes.
Something to know about the Royals field here at Mission College Prep. It's a downtown stadium. That's why we've got Palm Street behind us, Napomo off to the left. There's not a lot of room around this field. And so they practice on it. They play soccer on it. They play baseball on it. They do everything on it.
They hang out on it.
And it's become the kind of third team. It's an equal playing field for both sides, but the ball bounces weird. Things kick up dust. Yeah, it kicks up dust. It does all sorts of weird things, and that is one of them.
Orozco in under center. Keeps it himself on the option. And rather than pitching it out to Helm, he keeps it himself, gets a good gain on first down. And that sets up a 2nd and short. Looking for 3 yards to get the first down from second.
Absolutely the right decision to keep that there. You've always got the pitch option out there if you need it, but looked like the defense was flowing towards Helm, making sure that if he got the ball, they were ready. And when you pitch, there's always that risk that you don't make the connection. So good idea to keep.
And off to Helm this time. And Helm taken down in the backfield. Mario Loera making the initial contact.
And initial contact made well in the backfield by Mario Loera there. And we've been talking about the Loera twins a lot today and how good they've been. They're another good example because that should have been a first down by the blocking up front, everything going on. But Mario Loera making a play and helping the defense rally around and get that tackle.
Julian Orozco under center. Demacoblin with the carry on third down, and that's going to be a first down for the Thunderbirds.
The Thunderbirds starting with a lot of momentum to start out the second half here. They know, hey, we were chasing the first half. It'd be mission scores, we score, mission scores, we score. They come out here, get a touchdown here to start. They're going to control the pace for the second half, and that's the half you'd rather have control over if you had the choice.
And 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds. Hand off to the back. Demacoblin with the carry. And he gets a big gain on first down. And that brings up a 2nd and 2 for the Thunderbirds now across the 40-yard line. They're moving the ball well here in the third quarter on the ground.
Demacoblin, one of those black aces that's really come to life. A freshman that had played for the JV team most of the season, but has found a lot of running room here in the playoffs as a member of the varsity squad.
And a miscommunication. The pitch out to Helm now as Orozco was able to get away, and Helm breaks free down the sideline as he steps out of bounds. Gains enough for the sticks to move for the Thunderbirds. but only a 4-yard gain out to the 45-yard line, 5 yards away from midfield.
Veer might be the most enduring play call in the entirety of football. It is one of the original ones that was instituted well back when Vince Lombardi was playing ball. And it's all about that handoff down the middle. You're reading the end, then you pop out the outside and read the linebacker. Big gain off the pitch.
Salazar hands off to the back, and he's met quickly at the line of scrimmage. And carrying that one was Stephan Orozco.
Lucas Elmerick up front making that tackle on the backfield. And just to finish it, Veer is one of those things that even if it's not directly called as much as it used to be anymore, you still see elements of it in the RPO, the run-pass option. The only difference is instead of a pitch behind, it's a pass downfield.
Orozco delivering the play to the huddle. Receiver on the near side is Jesus Flores. Hand off to the man in motion. That's Stephan Orozco. And Stephan Orozco brought down by David Loera after a 4-yard gain.
Getting some of those Santa Ana winds, getting a little change of direction from where we normally get. This is coming down from the grade as opposed to in from the ocean, so it's not as cold as it typically is. And I do want to say real quick, thank you to all the firefighters out there, as we're out of peak firefighting season right now, but if you're going to go camping, anything like that, please be fire safe as we're still in the middle of a drought.
Thank you, Mitch, for letting us know the scoreboard was not up. We'll get that going for you. 3rd and 6. As Orozco pitches it out to Helm. And quick tackle by Drew Harrigan. Harrigan did not allow that first down.
No, but it's going to be a 4th and short. I expect Kennedy to go for this. It was an interesting stretch by Helm as well. He actually stretched behind him. That may have cost him the first down if he had stretched the correct direction while he was being spun. And that, I understand, big ask. That probably would have been a first down.
4 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter. 8 minutes to go. Orozco hands off to Helm. Helm shifts directions, gains enough for a first down, breaks loose. He's across the 25 into the 10. 5, touchdown. And that is a big touchdown for the Thunderbirds. A 46-yard carry for Helm to put the Thunderbirds up 20-14, awaiting the extra point.
Helm runs the ball like Max Verstappen drives a car. Once he has the clean air, there's no stopping him. He does not respond to a lot of things that are not direct tackles straight through the core. So Helm just finding that open air and getting out and away from the defense. What a run by the hybrid all-purpose back.
The biggest touchdown run of the night. And the kick is up and good for Calderon. And for the first time tonight, the Thunderbirds take the lead here in the 3rd quarter. 21-7 is our score. We'll be right back after a short commercial break.
Old San Luis Barbecue, a proud supporter of Mission Prep football. With 2 locations in SLO, Old San Luis Barbecue Company is the local spot to enjoy the best barbecue on the Central Coast. Check out their locations on Higuera and Broad, or order delivery with a third-party partner at Old San Luis Barbecue Company, proud supporters of Royals football.
So Helm breaks through the defense, puts up 7 points for the Thunderbirds, Stephen, on a 46-yard run.
Just getting away from the defense. We haven't seen him do much of that tonight. He's been bottled up pretty well, but now the Thunderbirds finding those gaps and seams a little bit easier, getting that battle going up front. They're gaining that momentum, gaining those habits that are going to treat them well for the rest of the game. The Royals got to find a way to answer back here. You see their body language right now. They've got to find a little way to get that pep in their step again, as they came out hot and then have been waning ever since.
Here's the boot. And that's going to be a touchback. We haven't seen that very much this season here at Royal Stadium.
No, pretty hard to get a touchback, especially straight through the back of the end zone like that at the high school level. They've been trying to kick away from J.J. Howard. Lots of squib kicks up the middle. I think they got fed up with having some small run backs and didn't want to roll the dice with Cole Tanner potentially getting his hands on the ball and causing something big to happen. So just boots it out straight out the back of the end zone. Can't ask for a better kick than that.
And with 7:43 on the clock, Royals start trailing by 7 now here in the third quarter, 21-14 our score. White working from a shotgun, checking his receivers. 2 to his right, 1 to his left, 2 to his left. Steps back to throw, pressure coming, chased out of the pocket to the left side. He's on the run, and he chases himself out of bounds to avoid contact from the defense. Can you chase yourself out of bounds?
Hey, it's a little tough. I think you got to have a couple extra personalities running around with you to make that happen. But is a free safety blitz. There's absolutely no one keeping the defense safe on the far back. So someone may have been open there. I didn't see it. So good idea to just tuck the ball and find the open field because everyone else was chasing him. And he had a lot of pressure coming down the middle due to that safety blitz.
Nice broadcast presented by Hyundai of San Luis Obispo. Or driven by Hyundai of San Luis Obispo, that is. Proud supporter of Mission Prep Athletics.
No safety back again.
Pressure coming from the line. White rolling out this time, directing traffic. Trying to get a receiver open. Cole Tanner takes the reception. And it is. There's a completion and a flag on the play. And Cole Tanner hits the turf at the 33-yard line. That's also where the flag comes out.
And I believe that was an illegal receiver downfield against the offense there. I didn't see the signal as a quick sign by the white hat. They'll come back out and re-sign here. Indeed, illegal man downfield. That's the problem you get with those long improvised plays is the O-line can't see behind them. They don't know where the quarterback's going. They're reading the defense in front of them and trying to adapt and move off that. And I think the O-line believed, hey, he's probably going for another scamper. Let's stay with him, and that pulls out the flag.
Kennedy defense trying to shut down the Royals here. 2nd and 12 now. White with 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, and the Royals get that 5 yards back as the encroachment on the defense.
This defense is built around aggression, and that is an early jump. They're trying to anticipate that snap count. They've done it a few times here in this game. That's why we're seeing as soon as Colby White gets that 3-step drop, he has company. It's because the defense feels like they can anticipate that snap count, really dive into the backfield and make the chaos happen.
Aiden Dolan, Tyler Garrett on the near side. Covered up by Pampa and Del Rio. Del Rio and De La Cuava. And Cole Tanner with the reception. He's quickly brought down on the far side. Short gain. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Royals.
And the defense, once again, firing off the edges, not even getting chipped on the way in. They're running this screenplay to try and abuse that aggression. They're trying to get the defense to run past where the play is going to be, drop the ball past the defense, and have it go upfield. But defense has got wheels. It's staying up with the play, reading what's going on very well.
3rd and 3 for the Royals as the wind continues to blow here in downtown San Luis Obispo. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, and a jump at the line once again. And Carlos Calderon jumping. No, going against the Royals this time. And offense, offsides. And 3rd and 3 turns into a 3rd and 8 now for the Royals. Back and forth on this play, on this series.
Thomas Glenn entering the game for Cole Tanner. Interesting, a freshman entering the huddle. We haven't seen much of Thomas Glenn. If I did in fact see that right, it looked like Jack Susank's number 6 going in there, now worn by Thomas Glenn, the freshman. Indeed, they're going 5 wide.
5 wide for the Royals. Quick pass. And Howard not able to go anywhere with it. So we're going to see a Royals 4th down here as the fire department rolls by.
He's taken down by Sebastian Castaneda.
Yeah, J.J. Howard, they're trying to get that tunnel screen going. Same concept of when they got the ball to Cole Tanner. They know a blitz is coming. They're moving a lot of guys to the line of scrimmage, packing up all of the defenses along the line, whether it's in the box, out of the box, is very close coverage. And so they're trying to draw that upfield and then run behind the blocks, getting to that second level.
Kick off. This one looks like it was tipped. And it takes a bounce in favor of the Thunderbirds. And collecting the coverage on that one is Lucas Elmerick, trying to slow the damage. And it seems like the third quarter has the Royals bleeding just a little bit here.
And that's a big problem. I mean, the RFK Thunderbirds came out swinging, scored on their first drive, ate a lot of time off the clock. Royals got the ball back. They moved it a little bit, but ended up getting bit by penalties and slowed down by some of their own mistakes. Now RFK has the ball back in very good position to score once again and really open up this game in their favor.
Orozco at quarterback. And a jump at the line. And coming out of his set position was the lineman. So that's going to push the Thunderbirds back 5 yards to the 30-yard line. So they got a good lead off second base here now on 1st and 15.
That's a small break for the Royals because this triple wing offense is not built to gate the giant gain. So having that extra 5 yards to deal with the sticks should help them out. But really a negative play here is what they need. Tackle for a loss, force a turnover, something big. They can't accept just normal status quo.
Helm takes the handoff in motion. And the hurdle jump, trying to get over Nozil, brings him to the turf, and he gets back to the original sticks. It's going to be second and a long 9 for the Thunderbirds here.
Coach Schuster getting upset over that play. Hurling's illegal in high school football. They cannot hurdle until the dive has happened. And so there's a large argument happening on the sideline between Coach Schuster and the near side referee. Wouldn't have been hit the referee's call there anyway, but that's a tough one to swallow for the Royals.
And the handoff once again to the back, Demacoblin. And Demacoblin pushes his way forward for a decent gain, making it a short third down after a long first down.
And this is really a season-defining drive for the Royals. They need to find a way to get this defense together. The defense hasn't been the strength of this team, but it's going to be relied on in order to pull this one out. They need to keep this a one-score game if possible.
3:45, clock running, and the handoff to Demacoblin, and he breaks loose away, find his way towards the end zone, but he's stopped before he gets there. Short of the goal line. A solid gain for Demacoblin. And 1st and goal for the T-Birds.
And the T-Birds have been able to show that they can get the ball in from here quite effectively. They like going power right, power left. We'll see which way they go. I think a lot of it's going to come down to who they want to see get the score here, as they've been going to Helm, which will put it power right at this point.
Hand off to the back. I believe that was Demacoblin once again.
I do think that's Demacoblin, and they're going to say that was sidelines reaction like it's a touchdown. I didn't see the signal.
As RJ Esmond checks in.
Yeah, they're going to say that was a touchdown.
Okay, so we have a touchdown sneaking in. My pencil's disappeared in the wind.
That's why I got a pen.
So 27-14 is our score, making it a solid 2-score game here. And Calderon with the boot. No good, going wide right. And I don't know if the officials are all on board on the same page following the communication here in this last series.
Well, ball was wide right. That could open the game up for the Royals if they're able to dig out of this hole. As right now, they find themselves in a 2-score hole, 13 points down, but plenty of time left to play. 3:14 left on the clock in the third quarter. So you still got an extra quarter worth of play. We talked last week about San Luis Obispo High School was down 21 points at halftime. We were able to come back in their CIF game against Dos Pueblos all those years back. It's not unheard of to rally from this sort of hole, especially when you've got big-time players like J.J. Howard and Tyler Garrett on the perimeter. So expect the Royals to go with more of that 5-wide type of look rather than their standard pro form sets.
And our score 28-14 in the CIF Central Section Division III semifinals. I found my pen. It was in my pocket.
Oh.
Good place for it to be.
Fun. Yeah.
Better than rolling around on the surface somewhere.
I was getting worried looking around on the ground because we're pretty high up on this scaffold and there's no way to get it if we went all the way down there.
Oh, I got more on the bag. I just have to go dig. And the Thunderbirds getting ready to kick this one off. I said 28-7. I got to adjust the scoreboard. It is 27-14. I'm making things up now. And JJ with the ball, getting ready to get those wheels turning before he's quickly brought down. And that is a short gain out of the backfield on the return by J.J. Howard. And we have 3 scores unanswered by the Royals now coming by way of the Thunderbirds.
Well, and Kennedy is really taking control of this game, especially look at the line of scrimmage where the game's really going to be decided between these two types of teams. Kennedy came out a little bit sheepish, to be quite honest with you. They got pushed around a good amount. Didn't really have the traction that the Royals did up front. Since then, the Thunderbirds have really bounced back, taking control of the trenches, and that's what we're seeing reflected in the scoreboard.
3:10 here in the third quarter. 27-14 is our score. White hands off to Drew Harrigan. First time carrying this one tonight. And Harrigan gets a couple yards close to the 30-yard line. Flags on the field. And this wind is getting gnarly tonight. Woo!
I think this might be an illegal formation against the Royals based on the timing of the flag.
And Royals football presented by Farmers Insurance agent Jennifer White. Give her a call today, 805-592-1272.
They're going to say it's a personal foul, not signal the variety of it. I'm shocked at that. It's coming from the backside of the line, away from the play, and they just signal personal foul, no chop block, no illegal contact, nothing like that. This is a little confounding to me, a little befuddling as well. And yeah, this is going to back them all the way back to the 10. Wait. Start on the 25. It should be on the 12.5. That should be half the distance to the goal. Why are they marking off 15?
Well, like I said, a lot of miscommunication with the officials late in this quarter. That just doesn't quite make sense. White looking to throw this one, quick fire. And Mario Loera, the intended target, diving out for the pass, out through the fingertips.
Mario Loera has been a solid target for Colby White throughout this year. He's got 14 receptions, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's as primarily a blocking tight end. They don't ask him to run a lot of routes, but he still finds ways to get it done. Mario Loera had a chance there. It was just a little bit off target, extended his full body, and the ball just not quite where it needed to be.
27-14 our score. Thunderbirds lead by 13. Royals once led by 7 when the score was 14-7. Royals up, but they've allowed 20 unanswered points. White chased out of the pocket, escapes one tackle, keeps running on his feet. This one's all by himself. He's getting some good yardage, and he breaks off about an 18-yard carry to keep the drive going.
There must be a flag out there, the way that they're acting here. Never mind, they are resetting it, but a lot of people walking backwards further than where I thought they were going to spot that. Interesting to see Colby White find these running lanes. The 3-3-5 is a type of defense that is pretty adept at taking care of running quarterbacks. In fact, that's why it was so popular during the high-tempo eras when guys like Chip Kelly were high in demand and not just kind of whiling away at UCLA. That's why this defense exists, is to help deal with mobile quarterbacks and high-tempo offenses.
A total of a 16-yard gain for Kobe White, the quarterback. 3rd and 9 for the Royals, a much more manageable down as the pressure comes up the middle from Calderon, and White gets the hit delivered on him by Carlos Calderon as the wind continues to blow here in downtown San Luis Obispo, blowing cans everywhere in the press box.
Well, and what blew the flag straight up and down. The flag was sitting on top of the pole for a second, and you can tell how squirrely the winds are getting. And once again, it's just that time of year in California where you're getting those weird winds. That's why they're called Santa Ana winds. It goes back to the days of when this was a Mexican territory, and Santa Ana was marching away towards the enemies in the morning and away from them at night.
Drew Harrigan comes in on the punt unit, sent on the line, and almost bounces off of David Loera, collected by Aiden Dolan on the punt. Royals down for 13 here, allowing 20 unanswered points. And the Thunderbirds with the ball. Sorry to cut you off, Stephen. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line on the right hash.
Kennedy gained the ball back after a short drive the last time they had. Last time they had the ball, they started on the 25-yard line. They've got quite a bit more space to conquer here. But the drive before that was a 46-yard scamper by Helm. So a lot of ground to make up for this defense.
Orozco under center. The handoff up the middle. And Demicoblin taken down quickly after a short gain. This defense needs to come up with a huge stop right now, Stephen. Something they've been known to do. But they got 2:15 here and 12 minutes in the 4th. The Royals need to come up with some changes.
Well, the Royals need a big negative play. And the problem is that the offense that they're facing is a fairly safe bet. It's not a team that rolls the dice a lot. They don't try and air the ball out a lot. They try and keep them going forward a little bit at a time.
Orozco under center. Looking at the back judge, waiting for the hand to go up. Snaps it off, hands it to Helm. Helm chased down and going nowhere quickly as George Kardashian in on that one. That's a nice play from George Kardashian to track down the runner and take him out of bounds for no gain.
George Kardashian, just a natural athlete. He's shown it quite a bit on defense as that safety position, kind of strong safety plays close to the line, and he forces Helm back out towards the sideline. Those are the types of plays that'll keep this defense alive, is forcing the negative play and making it so on 3rd down, they're forced to throw, forced to try something crazy in order to get the yardage.
And an extra 2-yard loss, now 3rd and 10. Handoff. Jim Coblin with the handoff, and the Royals meet him, and he's still churning. He gains 1 yard off what would have been a 2-yard loss, but he kept those feet churning, kept those knees going, and gained the yardage.
That's a rare talent for a freshman back there. Demicoblin showing off what he's got, just forcing the ball forward. Doesn't get a lot that time, but that type of attitude, that type of ball running is a huge sign that the stock price for Kennedy is about to go up. I'd buy those season tickets now if I lived in Delano.
Do we have season tickets here?
I mean, look, you know, you just act confident enough, they'll let anyone in.
I know a guy. I know a couple guys. And here's the punt unit, a rarity for the Thunderbirds tonight. And the punt is off from Calderon, and the student section returns this one.
And we're going to see the walk of doom as the referee's heading up the sideline. The question is going to be where to go out. And he's going to say about the 38. No, they're going to be all the way down at the 29. That's far too early. Or that's far too deep. I thought that went out between the 30 and 40-yard line.
Yeah. So,
because if that ended up in the student section, that had to have exited earlier. But You know, it's a tough call for the referee to make. It's not like they've got a fluorescent light that they could like beam down the sideline and see exactly where it went out of bounds.
Oh, like the hockey puck that illuminated, or
yeah, the glow puck back in the day. Yeah,
that was horrible.
You know, get those shot trackers that they have for golf. You know, the technology's there, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Colby White working with Cole Tanner in the backfield. He has a receiver to his left, one to his right. Getting some protection at the line, being chased down by two Thunderbirds. And the pass is completed on the sidelines to Jaden Nozil, who is not on the playing surface, was not in on that play, but he caught the pass.
You know, keeping those hands warm. Plays a free safety quite a bit. Has had
and there goes our scoreboard camera.
Share of
We're just going to leave that up for you so you can see.
Yeah, so you can see the night sky, like Vincent D'Onofrio talking about how pigs can't look up as the wind just whipping tonight.
You're fat. Your tie just slapped me in the face.
You know?
I probably deserved it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hand off to Cole Tanner out of the backfield. Tanner gets tripped up before he's met by a wall of Thunderbirds. What is the collective of a Thunderbird?
Thunderbirds? I mean, if we're going to believe this.
Like a murder of crows?
That's a better question, because the Thunderbirds was a TV show, so I don't know. Maybe a cast of Thunderbirds?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
I think that's going to be the end of the third quarter there while we talk about the demonym of Thunderbirds.
And at the end of the third quarter, Thunderbirds 27, Royals 14. Wilson.
And that'll do it for the third quarter of play.
Yeah, sorry.
Thunderbirds 27, Royals 14. Why don't you take us to break there?
Let's go to break.
We come back for the fourth quarter of action in this CIF Division III semifinal game.
I thought you were going to take care of it for me because you were talking. I zoned out for a second. Forgive me. Let's go. We'll be right back. Let's have fun.
California Fresh Market is more than just your local grocery store. A full-service deli featuring premium boar's head meats and cheeses, handmade take-and-bake pizza, fresh salad and olive bar, gourmet cheese department perfect for any occasion, sushi rolled daily, organic and locally sourced produce, wild-caught seafood, choice Prime and Snake River Farms American Wagyu beef, artisan sourdough bread, and full-service health and wellness. California Fresh Markets, the best on the Central Coast.
Fourth quarter action here at Michigan College Prep. We've sorted everything out for the most part.
As much as it's ever been sorted out.
I think my binoculars are broken. I think the wind is knocking our cameras over. And Eminem is playing. Shady's back. Oh, no, he's not. So, anyways, they still work, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that might be deliberately loose in order to make it easier to look through. Royals trying to mount a comeback here.
Two tight end set, single receiver each side. And the fumble of a play, shall we call it, miscommunication between Cole Tanner and Colby White ends up in a loss on the play and bringing up a fourth down in a crucial fourth quarter situation as the Royals trail in this semifinal matchup, trying to get to the championship of Division III, 27-14. And they're booting this one, Gage Cheney, out for the punt unit. We've seen a number of punters come out tonight, including quarterback Colby White.
Well, for Kennedy right now, they're hoping for a chance to host a championship game, as we're going to have a timeout Royals here, as there's some frustration mounting for Mission Prep.
So the Royals are going to take a timeout. We're going to join them in the timeout as the wind continues to build here on the Central Coast.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance Agent Jennifer White can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. Call Farmers Agent Jennifer White today at 805-592-1272. That's Jennifer White at 805-592-1272. 592-1272.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Mission Prep. Punt unit still out on the team. I'm Brian Stanley, Stephan Hodges joining me. We're in the fourth quarter, 11-17 on the clock. And we got a fake punt going on here, Gage Cheney. Not enough yardage gain, and the Royals turn it over on down. Thunderbirds ball, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. And I don't know if that was the right play for trickery.
It seems like there may have been a miscalled play on the offense. So this is going to give the Thunderbirds fantastic field position as RFK looking to move down the field and make some big things happen. Kennedy's been getting better as this game's gone on. Last time they had it, though, 3 and out. Still have that 21-0 run on points that has been treating them well through this game.
Fourth quarter presented by Milestone Tavern, the official post-game hangout of Mission Prep football. Orozco with the pitch to Helm. Helm slips up, and ball comes loose on the tackle. Case Christensen bringing in the pressure, or excuse me, Connor Lopez, but Orozco jumps on it, and Julian Orozco saves the possession for the Thunderbirds here.
Thunderbirds getting pushed back by this defense. This is the exact type of play that they needed. They need to build off this momentum a little bit. They got to start celebrating these small victories that they're getting, because that's what's going to be what lets you back in the game. Even though they didn't convert the fumble, that's a huge gain for the defense as it backs up this offense.
You were talking about the defense needing a big loss, and there goes the camera of the scoreboard once again. We'll reset it for you. Don't mind us. Roscoe turns, looks, finds nobody, and going back in the backfield as Connor Lopez chases Orozco down on the miscommunication of the offense. And the offense going backwards once again. -8 yards on this play. -9 yards. It is 3rd and 19. Pushing the Thunderbirds back is what the defense needed to do here. Getting a big stop. The gamble might pay off ultimately for Schuster.
And this outside pressure is something that Kennedy's been getting on the Royals. The Royals have not been able to get on Kennedy. The outside linebacker getting free fire into the backfield. That's what's gotten these negative plays. And it's happened on both sides of the ball. Just not so much for the Royals as Kennedy's been able to get it on them.
And we have a timeout as the Thunderbirds want to talk this one over. And we'll let them talk it over. Our score 27-14. Royals trail by 13. We'll be right back.
Experience car buying made easy at Sunset Honda.
Like Sunset Honda's MPG upgrade with huge savings on fuel-efficient vehicles.
Right now, take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months on select new Hondas. Or take $2,000 off every new Passport and Pilot. Or $3,000 off select new Ridgelines.
Plus, get a $25 gas card just for taking a test drive.
Trade in your gas guzzler and get $1,000 over Blue Book from the start.
Get started today at sunsethonda.com.
Welcome back to Mission Prep Football. I'm Brian Stanley. Joining me is Stephan Hodges. And we have been attacked by the wind.
It's been a little vicious here tonight. Getting worse as the game goes on. Typically, that's the opposite.
And 3rd and 19. The handoff in the backfield goes stale. And going nowhere in the backfield for the Thunderbirds is Salvador Sanchez Jr. And that is a 4th down and 20 now.
Gabe Rodriguez coming up big there. Just a quick little handoff with a lot of room to run and just absolutely shut down there by the defensive end, Gabe Rodriguez.
And we're facing a 4th and 20. The punt unit out. Cole Tanner back to receive. 8:52 and on the clock and running. And the Clock being ran down by the Thunderbirds. A high sky punt. It's going to fall in range of the linemen who were running down to set up blocks. And covering up was Gabe Rodriguez, as if he thought he was going to get it bonked on the head. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Mission Prep from their own 25-yard line, 8:31 on the clock. And they need 2 scores here with 8:31 remaining.
And that is fortunate that no Royal ended up hitting that as it dropped right into the middle of formation. There's been a lot of miscues for the Royals on that last drive. Had a misread on the fake punt chance. And here they're coming back out hoping to get something going.
Cole Tanner takes the handoff. He's trying to break free, but this defense coming strong. And Gonzalez in on the tackle. Sergio Gonzalez been a big part of this defense all night long.
Going to be lightening up the formation here from the looks of it, including changing out the center. It's going to be a new center, Case Christensen. Looks to be coming in for Sean Rivas.
And the Loera brothers step to the sideline. White with the delivering the call to the huddle. J.J. Howard, the near receiver. 2 receivers to the far side. Set at the 25-yard line. White with some protection. Trying to throw, evades the tackle. Pass is thrown on a sidearm and complete to Luke Terry. And that's a 9-yard gain. And the word to describe it out of the press box is wow.
Just an absolute dart while falling down. And Colby White was completely horizontal to the ground. You want to draw like a math teacher say what a parallel line was? That's where Colby White was when that ball was released. Just a dart to Luke Terry, elevated it up and made the catch. What a play.
3rd and 1 for the Royals. Looking to get that Mountain Air first down. Hand off to Tanner. Tanner pushes forward. First down, Royals. Out to the 40-yard line. And the drive stays alive with a fresh set of downs.
As we reach the halfway point of this 4th quarter, as my tie hits you in the face once again. The winner of this game likely to host Sunnyside out of Fresno, as Sunnyside currently leads Independence in their game. I can pull up that exact score here in just a moment. Granted, take these with a grain of salt as they were misreported last week. Sunnyside currently leads 38-17 as they host Independence out of Bakersfield.
Under 6:40 on the clock now. White under center. Defense showing blitz. Hand off to the big back, Drew Harrigan, skipping forward on the shoestring tackle and gains a good 5 yards for the Royals. 2nd and 5 as we have a shift in the lineup. Cole Tanner coming in, Luke Terry coming in, as well as Champ Morrissey coming in on this play.
Champ Morrissey, a sophomore. I believe he spent most of his time, no, Champ was on varsity most of the year, but not someone that we typically see in these types of sets, as he's going to be in the backfield blocking for Colby White.
Colby White with 3 receivers out there. 1 to his right, 2 to his left. Morrissey in motion, and White being chased down and cannot get away from the pressure as Carlos Calderon and Emiliano Herreron chase him down for the sack.
Just looked like a bear on roller skates, being forced backwards, trying to buy as much time as possible. He's been able to do that and get the ball away a few times tonight, including earlier in this drive with that beautiful throw to Luke Terry, but just ended up bleeding yardage to the defense as he tried to buy more and more time and ultimately got swallowed up. Just an unfortunate play for the quarterback, who really, despite not having the stats, has had a pretty decent night.
As we approach the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter, Royals need some kind of miracle here in downtown San Luis Obispo. Colby White looking to throw this one, looking for some receivers. He's got a man, he's got a target. Pass incomplete to Luke Terry. The pressure coming from the defense on the coverage. Could not connect with his receiver downfield.
It's a good call, well-run route, just minuscule details. And that's what these playoff games come down to, is how well you execute on the details. That would have kept the drive alive had that been completed as a well-run route. Like I said, just well defended as well by the Thunderbirds, and that's going to give the ball back to Kennedy.
I want to appreciate everybody joining us tonight. This is the first time in our broadcast history we've been over 600 fans at a single moment during a stream, which is a big milestone for us. We do appreciate you all tuning in. On the punt, falls dead at the 44-yard line in the CIF Division III semifinal. Winner goes on to the championship game.
Winning City will host the championship game for Mission Prep. That means staying in here in San Luis Obispo. For Kennedy, that means a nice, cozy game back at home in Delano for Black Friday. Be able to enjoy Thanksgiving and not worry about long travel the next day. As once again, it seems like Sunnyside will be dropping down the 99 from Fresno.
Not a bad drive down the 99 for a game. And Orozco at quarterback, hands off to Demacabla. Demacablin with a short carry.
No, I made that drive a few times. I lived in Fresno, had family in Bakersfield, and family in Shafter as well. So got to go down 99 as well as down the Laredo Highway a few times. Kern County, underrated county as far as California goes.
Well, I think that's because Bakersfield's in Kern County.
I mean, you look at historic moments that have happened in Californian history. A lot of them happened in Kern County, including United Farm Workers and Cesar Chavez in Delano.
Correct. I'm not taking anything away from the county. I'm taking things away from Bakersfield. I'm sorry. I'm getting a lot of hate from Bakersfield right now. Love Kern County.
I mean, look, if there's one city that I think Mission Prep's okay having a chip on their shoulder against, it'd be Bakersfield after last year in D2 where Mission Prep went up against the Bakersfield Drillers and ended up falling in that one. And that's part of why we have the new system where we have a base division and can move up or down one division off that rather than smaller schools like Mission potentially going to play huge population schools like Bakersfield High School. It's now 3rd and medium.
3rd and 7 is the call. Clock continue to tick away in favor of the Thunderbirds, approaching the 3-minute mark. Demacablin with the handoff, and David Luera with the tackle, getting his bear claw on the ankles of Demacablin, and Coach Schuster wants to think this one over, taking his second timeout of the half.
And chasing out the referee to make sure he got that timeout in on time. Don't want to give the punt team the chance to milk the clock.
So we're going to go ahead and take the timeout with Coach Schuster. We'll be right back.
Old San Luis Barbecue, a proud supporter of Mission Prep football. With 2 locations in SLO, Old San Luis Barbecue Company is the local spot to enjoy the best barbecue on the Central Coast. Check out their locations on Higuera and Broad, or order delivery with a third-party partner at Old San Luis Barbecue Company, proud supporters of Royals football.
And it's time to come back from that commercial break. I'm Brian Stanley joining you, along with Stephen Hodges and our cameraman all season long, Thomas Bowden, braving the cold weather, the heat, the sun, the shade, the clouds. We luckily haven't had any rain on game day this season.
Only one real storm through the games this year.
And the Royals showing blitz, bringing blitz. No one back to receive this one. And the Royals are going to let it fall inside the 10. It's not really a place you want to start, but I get the idea of Coach Schuster bringing the pressure at the line, hoping to get the block, give yourself better field position. But without that good field position, you're going to be in a hole anyways.
And you weren't going to have much of a return in that kind of position to begin with. The coverage team doesn't have to go far to find the punt returner in that situation. So you set up the block knowing we're probably not getting a return anyway, and when you're going to be running a hurry-up offense, as the Royals are going to have to, down 2 scores with a lot of field here to cover, it doesn't really matter if it's another 10 or 20 yards because you're hoping to pop one wide, especially with players like J.J. Howard, who an extra 10 to 20 yards might take him a quarter second to cover.
Howard out on the near side with Luke Terry. Full receiver set. Single back in the backfield, Cole Tanner. White looking to throw this one, avoiding the pressure coming again. He's off to the races, and he's got enough for the first down, running out of bounds. And if you're going to celebrate the holidays here on the Central Coast and San Luis Obispo area, I want you to check out the official grocery store of Prep Sports Network. That is California Fresh Market. They got the finest craft beer selection on the Central Coast, plus a meat and seafood department that can be unmatched. California Fresh Market is a proud supporter of Mission Prep Athletics.
Of course, holiday season coming up pretty quick. Thanksgiving going to be just this next week, so just a quick reminder, don't get mad over the small stuff. I'll have a post-game message about some of that, but Thanksgiving is a time to come together.
We're going to get a sermon tonight?
We'll get a sermon tonight. It's postseason. I always have sermons ready.
White looking to throw, going nowhere fast. And Gonzalez in on that tackle. Sergio Gonzalez delivering the backside hit.
That hard-hitting Mike linebacker for Kennedy. And that's a big problem for Colby White because Colby White going to be needed to be part of this comeback. And he might be coming out. No, he's just getting his shoulder pads readjusted. But that's a big hit on a quarterback that needs to perform at a high level. That's tough even if he's completely fine right now. Just because you got to re-get that cadence and watch out for footsteps, all that stuff they tell you about.
White under center. Hands off, some trickery. Pass over the middle. Flag on the play. And that's the old switcheroo, I believe.
Reverse pass, Aiden Dolan, actually the backup quarterback for this team, getting his chance to toss one out to J.J. Howard. That is clear pass interference and a good pass interference to take for the defense because J.J. Howard gets loose with that ball, he's gone. So they take the pass interference, don't give J.J. Howard a chance to catch it, and Morrell's going to get an automatic first down and a clock stoppage. Really a win-win for both teams.
They give him 15 yards.
Thought that was supposed to be automatic first on pass interference like that, but they're just going to move him back between the sticks and keep it as second down.
2nd and 5 now. Much more manageable 2nd and 5. White takes the handoff, or takes the snap. Pass fired over the middle. And that falls complete to Tyler Garrett. They're going to give it to him. And the Royals speed up this offense with 1:44 on the clock, trying to get set before the clock starts running. White getting some pressure in the backfield, pass over the middle, and that pass intercepted by Brian Guevara. And that's going to seal this game for the Thunderbirds with 1:31 on the clock.
Brian Guevara's 4th interception on record, and it's a big one. Kennedy likely sealing their spot in the CIF Division III final. They will be playing Sunnyside next week at home on Black Friday. Big push for Kennedy here. Well played by the Royals throughout this entire season. Their challenge at the beginning of the year was to rise up. Rise up to the new challenges. That's the slogan for this entire athletic department. The football team certainly did that, rising up to a new league, coming within one game of walking away with the league title in their initial season in the Mountain League, and then rising up to the D3 challenge, getting the top seed. Ultimately, looks like they're going to come a little short, barring some unforeseen consequences here.
And if you're going to do some vacationing on the Central Coast, I want you to check out the Madonna Inn. It's your next getaway here on the Central Coast, right off the 101. Has plenty of unique rooms, spa, horseback riding, and much more. Check out the Madonna Inn. As short run up the middle for the Thunderbirds as the clock continues to turn away towards 00. And Stephen, it's been a fun season.
It's been a fun season, Brian. It's been one that has brought a lot of ups and downs. The Royals looking to finish this one with dignity and hopefully some good feelings. And while we have an injury on the field, I'll go ahead and say what I was going to say earlier. The worst fights I've ever had in my life have been about the small things. And I always go back to Thanksgiving with this because they're the stupidest fights on Thanksgiving. And they're ones I remember. You know what started the 2 worst fights in my family?
No.
Foods at Thanksgiving. The type of cranberry sauce and the type of gravy served were the 2 worst family fights. And I was sitting there at work. I was talking to my fiance about what's going on in life, how we're getting burnt out, all this stuff with the holidays coming around, all the extra stresses. And at the end of the day, I said, hey, you know what? They're good problems to have. We're blessed to have these types of problems. If you're a Kennedy fan right now and you're getting stressed out about, oh, what are we going to do for Black Friday now, all of this, these are good problems to have. And that's what I ask you at the end of the day if you're watching this, no matter what fan base you're from, look at the problems you're having in your life and realize, are you blessed to have these problems, or are these problems a real problem in what's going on? And when you look around the world, there's bombings happening, all that. Having to stress about what type of gravy's on the table, not worth getting angry about. Having to worry about what time you show up, all these little things. Important thing about these meals is that you're there together. Breaking of bread is one of the most important traditions, no matter what culture you're part of. In the Christian faith, which is where Mission Prep is, it's Catholic school, it's the basis of the most sacred sacrament. Communion is all about breaking of bread and sharing that experience with one another. I encourage you to have patience and love in your heart this upcoming holiday season, no matter how you choose to celebrate. There you go. Enough of a sermon?
Yeah, that was good.
Paced it exactly right. I'm going to spike the football on that one a little bit as we watch a Thunderbird, unfortunately, walking off in the tail twilight of this game. Not when you want to be getting hurt during the tough parts, especially with a championship right around the corner for this fantastic Kennedy team.
The Royals brought it early on, putting up 14 points in the first half, but were unable to corral the Thunderbirds as the Thunderbirds put up 20 unanswered points on the Royals here tonight.
Well, and for the Thunderbirds, again, going off the information I'm seeing online, likely facing Sunnyside, it might look like a mismatch on paper. Sunnyside is the number 11 seed in D3, as this one's going to be bounced to the outside and put down. Looks like we're going to need at least one more snap as they're going to take a timeout for the Royals. I thought this was just to move the chains, but they're completely stopping, and the Royals will blow a timeout here.
We'll take one more timeout. We got a commercial to play for you. We'll be right back. Mountain Air has been a proud sponsor all season long.
Maybe.
Go ahead. Talking about tools for successes. Talking about a sleeping bag with Snuggie arms.
Well, I'll tell you who's got the tools for success, and that's Sunnyside. You might look and say 11 seed, not that threatening and coming out of the Division 3. They've beaten Tehachapi. They're beating Independence. They beat Tulare Union to start this thing off on first round. That's who Kennedy has ahead of them. Sunnyside is a vicious team coming out of the urban area of Fresno. I would not count them out as an underdog in the upcoming championship game between the Thunderbirds and Kennedy. Or sorry, Thunderbirds and Sunnyside.
So, yeah, Kennedy's playing themselves. And they're going to call that one a win. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Our final score here, as we just wait for clock to time run out, is 27-14. And according to the chat, the Kennedy Band and Color Guard will be competing in Garden Grove tomorrow for the state championship. So Kennedy looking for championships all around this fall season. And we want to salute them for their effort here tonight, picking up the win in a tough fought battle between the Royals and the Thunderbirds. Royals finish the season with a tremendous record, finishing 8-4 overall, 6-1 in the Mountain League. Second place finish in the Mountain League. Their first season in that league. The Thunderbirds move on to 10-2 into the championship. 4-0 in the South Sequoia League. And they will compete in the championship next Friday in a site to be determined, because I don't know how it's going to work, if they're going to put them into a neutral site or allow them to play at home.
Typically, if the home team is able to have the capacity, they'll play it at home. But that's a call for Robert F. Kennedy. I don't know their administrators well enough to speak on their behalf.
So it's going to be a good time. And this is now the CB Chevrolet postgame show. CB Chevrolet been a proud sponsor all season long. And Stephen, how do we wrap up this season for the Royals and Coach Schuster?
With a lot of pride. You look at what this team accomplished. It's things that this school didn't think would maybe ever happen. Wins over Lompoc, wins over San Ynez, wins over Arroyo Grande, wins over Paso. The old guard of the Central Coast all fell to the might of the Royals. The only game that they stumbled on locally was against St. Joe, a game that they were battling a lot of external factors that are out of their control, and they still put on a fantastic showing, going up 14-0 early in that game. So you look at what happens and what's next for them, you still keep building. The challenge was to rise up. They rose up. Sometimes you end up just playing a team that's a fantastic team, like Kennedy, the team across the field from them right now. And that, there's no honor, there's no honor lost by losing to a good team. They just got to keep rising up. For the seniors today, well, it's their last game in a Royals uniform. Last chance to be together as a crew for everyone on the field. But, this is a school that prides itself on making not just great athletes, but great men as well. And so I have no shame in saying, hey, this is a great team. I'm proud of every player out there on the field.
It's been a great ride for me this season with the Royals. I move on to basketball. It's almost a bittersweet ending. I get to move on to basketball and get to do more adventurous things this year with the Royals men's basketball squad. But I'm sad to see this season come to an end. But we will be back next fall with the Royals. Stephen and I, at least I will be. I hope Stephen will still be around with us. And Thomas, will you be back with us next year? We got Thomas for one more year. We appreciate Thomas. Appreciate everything you do for us, Thomas. Any final words from either one of you?
Just want to reiterate my pride in this program. This has been a great journey for me working with the Royals this entire season for another great season of Prep Sports Network with the Mission Prep Royals. I've been on the ride since they made the transition to 11-man. This is a team that really has come a long way, and I think there's a long way left to go. All that's going to be happening starting today. It's now officially the off-season for football, but Prep Sports Network will continue on the hard court with a round ball. You'll be there for all that action, won't you, Brian?
I will be. And final words from the speechless Thomas is a good old thumbs up. So I just want to relay that to you. He's always speechless because he has so much to say. He just doesn't know what the right words are. So we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Congratulations to Kennedy, and good luck in the championship contest against your foe, Sunnyside. So we'll be back with basketball season. Follow me on Twitter, Stanley on Sports. Follow Stephen on Twitter, Slowpoke Sports. The football squad is on Twitter, MCP Football. And you can follow Prep Sports Network on Twitter, The Prep SN. We do appreciate you. Have a good night, and God bless.